May. Hot tubs. It's about time you treat yourself to a luxurious new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their huge showroom and choose from over 100 spas in stock and priced to move fast. This summer, get ready to relax. You deserve a brand new spa from Strong Spas. Visit their ginormous showroom inside Sangertown Square, New Hartford. Special financing available for credit qualified buyers. Strong Spas. Experience the difference for yourself. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson and Power Sports of Utica. 35% off or 2 for 1 on all boots, hoodies, and big and tall. First bike night of the year, May 12th, with Showtime, Piggy Pats, plenty of cold beer. We'll see you there.
Welcome to Power Sports of Utica, where you can take home a brand new C4 600 four-wheeler with all-wheel drive, a winch, and power steering for $65.99. And join us May 12th for our first bike night featuring Showtime, Piggy Pats Barbecue, and plenty of cold beer.
Hi, this is Lori with Express Employment Professionals. Are you looking for a new job, a career change, a position within your field? Express Employment Professionals is the staffing firm for you. Express has multiple job opportunities across many industries throughout our region. Are you an IT professional? Find that perfect company now. CNC machinists, HVAC and boiler mechanics? We've got the job for you. Are you a warehouse worker, machine operator, forklift driver? Find a better job now. Industrial painters, sheet metal workers, find that new job now. Carpenters, welders, the skilled trades, you're in demand. Bookkeepers, supply chain specialists, and administrative professionals, start a new career today. Our process is easy. Go to expressmohawkvalley.com to complete our online application and apply now. Our recruiters will call you to set up a meeting. You can also call our office at 315-790-5723. Express Employment Professionals. We make it our business to put you to work.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 2nd at the Stanley Theater. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Get tickets at the Stanley Theater box office, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling 315-724-4000.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers deliver professional-grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. It's your chance to be the envy of your neighborhood. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. And we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning. What a beautiful start to the day. Yay, yay. Something like that. It's going to be beautiful today. And then beautiful tomorrow, and then beautiful on Saturday. And pretty darn nice for Sunday. A little cooler, but beautiful. I guess I'm going to take it.
Oh, yes,
I've decided
sir.
to take it. I've decided to take it.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Manaski. Wow. Let's just talk about the let us talk about the video you have up on our website right now, WIBX950.com. And it's about the inmate who apparently escaped and began running down a Oriskany Boulevard.
Incredible. So it was shot by...
I guess that part is Oriskany Street.
Yeah.
And then it'll turn into Oriskany Boulevard.
I've always thought they were one and the same. I almost thought it was like
they are, but they
reference,
aren't. Yeah, it's like Seneca Turnpike and Route 5.
Right.
I guess. Except they have the exact same name almost. Anyway.
Yeah, so it was shot by a motorist in his vehicle. And I think it begins with you could kind of see the inmate going by quickly, and then I believe it's an Oneida County Sheriff's deputy right after with taser in hand.
More than one. There was a couple of them, it looked like.
Yeah.
Running after him.
One in uniform, and then I think it was a couple members of law enforcement who
And then there's a car in the road. There was a car in the road.
Yeah.
And he tried to get into that car.
And everybody I've talked to, I can't believe how many people have reached out to me over the story. They said, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I saw it on our website."
Today, could you do me a favor? When we leave, I want to get in my car, go forward by 2 feet, and then I want you to try to get in. I want to know if my doors are locked. I'm pretty sure they are.
So interesting.
I think
so many
they are.
people said that.
Yeah. Why are the doors not locked?
Automatically.
I think mine do. But maybe they don't. You don't know it. Maybe there's a setting and you don't know it.
Yeah, could be.
I've got my doors locked so much that if adults ride in the back, they can't even get out. I got to let them out. I don't know why, because I don't have any toddlers. But mine must be set to like somebody who has children, so they don't get out of the car.
I almost think it's become a standard feature on vehicles where once the car's in drive, doors
it automatically
lock.
locks.
Yeah.
I hope so. But apparently not in that car.
No, I guess not.
Because,
or, it could have been, I guess maybe it's possible the person didn't realize what was going on, saw people running and said, these people need help, and was maybe going to get out of the car.
This person in handcuffs in a jumpsuit, orange jumpsuit, needs assistance. Sir, how can I help you?
I don't know. But, so many people said, how was that door not locked?
Yeah, I don't know. Wow, it's quite a video.
Yes, and you can see it right now on our website and on our Facebook page as well.
There's a little graphicality in there. Just beware, but I'm sure you can handle the language.
Yes.
I mean, he was in awe. The video guy, videographer in this case, was in awe of this. I mean, what he was witnessing, could not believe it.
I mean, what would you say, right?
I'd say, you know what I would have done? I would have taped the whole thing and realized I never hit record. That's what I would have done. I give the guy credit. And I'm used to using cameras, but I find that you get punching and you do it, and you might have hit it and then turned it off by mistake. Hit it one too many times.
Yep.
So you always got to make sure you're taping. But the new iPhone has a swipe across feature now where you can, I don't know. Yeah, it swipes right across to the camera.
Oh, really?
Did you know that?
I
Try
did
it on
not know
yours.
that.
Try it on yours.
Hang on. Okay.
I think it's the operating system. Boom, you swipe across, you got the camera, bang.
No.
You're going.
I have not downloaded the new operating system.
Yeah, you got to do that for security reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a story. It's up on our site. What was he in? What was he? We'll talk to Sheriff Maciel, but what was he in court for? Why was he in the jumpsuit? Why is he in jail?
I do not know if they have released that. I don't know if they released that. I know yesterday they sent an update. After I'd originally posted the story, they updated the information to include his name, where he was from. I'm checking today. Frankfurt Corrections Office. I don't know if his original charge, criminal contempt in the first and harassment, ran from correctional officer. Yeah, 40-year-old was being held at the jail on charges of criminal contempt and harassment. Ran from officers exiting Utica City Court. He was taken back into custody after the foot pursuit. He will be arraigned on new charges of escape in the second degree, which is a Class E felony.
Wow. Rob here this morning says, and someone is probably going to get suspended from that escape. Yeah, how did that happen? How did the person get away? And he's in handcuffs on top of that. And then just to see that, well, everyone's reported that he was in handcuffs. I don't know.
The way he opened the door seemed to me that he kind of leaned down the door and with his hand right in front of. Maybe his hands were cuffed together.
Could be. I don't know.
Maybe they were cuffed in
I
front.
just heard that was the case. I'm starting a new segment. Do you have a little drum roll there for you?
It's the timpani one. It's long.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our latest brand new segment entitled What's in Today's Newspaper? And we're doing Above the Fold just to take a look around to see what the local newspapers and regional are dealing with. We'll start with the Rome Daily Sentinel. Board accepts report on Karam. And that was yesterday's news, but still, it's a topical story. They also get into the fact that there's another meeting later today at 4 p.m., a special meeting. They'll continue the talks. That's the Daily Sentinel. Also, Hennessy to sue the Board of Elections.
Mm-hmm.
Front page Above the Fold.
That was a press conference Mr. Hennessy held yesterday.
Daily Sentinel. Pretty topical there. The New York Post. Get this one, Davey, all the way from New York City, right? Comes all the way in from the Big Apple. The pay to be a Biden. It pays to be a Biden, is what it says. There are contacts and numbers out. It talks about Hunter Biden, brother James and his wife Sarah, Hunter's ex-wife, the son Bo's widow, Haley, son Hunter's current wife, by the way.
I think his crack dealer benefited from this deal as well.
Foreign clients looking to buy influence funneled millions through shady entities to be Joe Biden's. It pays to be a Biden. That's their big story today. Love the headlines in the Post. And then front page of the Observer Dispatch. There's a picture of the fire at Donna's Cafe from 4 days ago. Yeah, that happened Monday. And, big headlines above the fold in today's OD. Jury finds Trump liable for sexual abuse. Get Monday's news every Thursday in the Observer Dispatch. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't want to be critical, but are you kidding me? Is this what we're paying how much for? What did I pay for this, Davey? It's not $2.99. Will you stop it? It's $2.99.
What's the Sentinel?
That's probably $3 for the Post, $2 for the Sentinel.
Oh, wow.
So I pay an extra 99 cents.
That's a bargain.
I pay an extra 99 cents to get history, I believe. That's probably what it is. You always pay an extra 99 cents. You've got the history version. That's the history edition. I don't even want to look at the sports scores. I don't even want to go there. Tom Brady's retired.
We got the Super Bowl winner.
I don't understand how that is. That's a national story, right? Why would that be on the front page? It's a national story. It's available to everyone. It should have been in Tuesday's paper.
I don't know.
Today's what? Thursday.
Bill, I hate
My Lord.
With all due respect, and I want to be clear, I'm talking about the brand, not about the individuals who are, probably scurrying around that building 24/7 because there's only 8 people left there.
But I don't. Do you need people to just grab a hold of the Trump story?
Well, I'm sure they didn't invest in AI yet.
God, well, that's coming next.
But
and maybe that's what happened there. Wow.
Look, I think I've come to a realization of something well in advance of you. The game is over.
Seems to be that way. Yeah. Wow. I mean, you're going to get your news. You're going to get it. You're going to get it from topical places that deliver it when it happens, and you'll get it off your phone. You'll go to their app or what have you. But I mean, who would pay like I just did to get Monday's news delivered?
You could have got me 3 coffees with that $2.99.
I know. There's the $2.99 deal at McDonald's. I imagine.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there is.
It's an interesting thing. It's quite a contrast.
Chuck Lester this morning. Chuck Vermillion, the FBI refused to turn over documents to the committee looking into overseas business deals of the Biden crime family. I know Lester Holt did not report on this. I have to say, you're way wrong on that, Chuck. The nightly news is pretty good at reporting. You're getting both sides of the story, and it is an opinion. So I really feel like I watch that news, and I think they cover things that are pro-Republican, anti-Republican, pro-Democrat, anti-Democrat. It's the news.
I completely agree with you.
Done.
Can I just say, though, I'm kind of baffled at this because I really see a lot of similarities in what every night, I'll say left-leaning media, every night when Trump was president, it was Russia, collusion, we got him, nail in the coffin, smoking gun, this is it, he's going down, this is the evidence, it's coming, it's finally here, we heard it. Remember, what did Rush used to call him, pencil neck Adam Schiff?
You're trying to compare Joe Biden to Donald Trump. There's just no comparison.
But
I
Bill,
understand there's no comparison, though. But even with that said.
But, okay, his chaos and his antics, I completely agree.
I get it.
But they were saying that he was colluding with a foreign government. Now, the right-leaning media is all over this. They cover it every day, and the left-leaning side does not. I have not seen it. I could be wrong.
Okay. Anyway, last night, Trump was on CNN. See, Trump enjoys the media circus.
Are you burying the story?
I am burying it right now because I'm telling you what the difference is. The difference is Trump would come back out for more every day. He would keep the story alive. Now, were they going after Trump? I don't want to get into that argument. I'm sure they were, especially organizations like CNN. In fact, people have been fired over that. Last night, it was CNN that actually did the Trump campaign rally, I guess it was. It was a, what would you call those, where everybody sits down and a question and answer type thing. Whatever, that was, and Trump is still running with the election was stolen. January 6th, it was a beautiful day. People, and if he gets elected president, he will let those people out of jail. That is where, and you have to expect that to be covered. Whereas Biden is being protected, they're keeping him quiet. They only want him to say 3 words at a time, and there's less to report on. When you're just handing it to them every single day, which is what Trump does, you can't always fault the media for covering what's handed to you on a silver platter every day. That's my point. I get it. I understand they were going after Trump. I totally get it. But what I'm saying is he made it very easy for them. Biden is hiding in the closet. And that is the big difference between Biden and Trump.
That post headline, though, is the thing. That allegedly, the Bidens got millions and millions of dollars from foreign governments. The thing Trump was accused of for 4 straight years. Yeah. I'm with you on the Trump antics. I think he's
I'm not even there. I'm not even going down that road. I'm just saying it is handed on a silver platter every day. RV is in Westmoreland. Good morning, RV. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Yeah, good. How are you doing?
Not bad. I never paid attention. I got a 95 Chevy pickup truck.
Okay.
And I never really paid attention to the door locks until just now.
I haven't either. I really wonder.
My door locks are unlocked. When I put it in park, immediately the door lock's locked. So when that car, the vehicle that this guy ran to and opened up the door, must have been in park.
Oh.
Or else they couldn't have opened the door.
That's a really good point. The person must have seen what was going on, threw it in park.
And put it in park.
Yeah.
And that guy was able to open the door, or they opened the door for him, one or the other.
Or they opened the door. I think you're absolutely right. Because otherwise, the doors that when
I'm not saying they did or didn't. I'm not saying that, but I got a 95, which is damn near 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know.
Damn near 30 years old.
Yeah.
30 years old.
You put it in park, and the door, the driver's and the passenger's door unlocks.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Whatever happened down there the other day, it was but in order for him to open up the door,
yep,
that vehicle had to be in park.
Okay, good thinking, RV. I think you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Okay, pal.
Oh, I got audio playing here. All right, you too, RV. Thank you. I think he's right. I think that's how the
I
that's
just
how
know
it must have happened.
Two things. One, he was saying a 95, so that's almost a 30-year-old vehicle.
Yeah.
And the second thing, personally, my vehicle, I have a Nissan. When I put it into park, it does not automatically unlock.
That is a new SUV, too. It's a fairly new SUV. And he totally got into, I'm looking at the video right now. First of all, he's on a Oriskany Street. Realizes he's going nowhere there. Now, I'm hitting the gas if this is me. I'm not, you're going to have a hard time catching me. I'm not going to get involved. I'm hitting the gas. I'm going out of there. Now he crosses over the median. There he goes. There's an SUV sitting back further because they must realize something's going on. He goes to that vehicle. Wait a minute. It almost looks as if the vehicle door began to open before he got there. Whoa, I got to look at this again. Okay, there he is. Have you analyzed this video yet?
I have not.
Here he is driving. He's running. Now he's running across the median. There's a guy out of the car. Oh. Oh, wow. Wow. It looks like the man in the SUV, I could be wrong, got out of the car and started running.
Really?
Okay,
well,
we got to watch it
again.
You got to watch it again. We might have discovered something here. Okay, he's running down. Now here he goes. They're chasing after him. There he is. He's on Oriskany Street. There's a guy that's coming up from across and is running away. Be careful.
Yeah.
F words all over that. Watch that. See what I'm seeing? There's a guy in a white shirt that starts running across, and he's running away from the scene. Now he realizes, wait, you're getting in my car. See, look, notice the guy. Notice the guy coming from the left out of the picture, coming across right from his vehicle. He must have gotten out of his car, and the inmate got in his car.
That's interesting, Bill. Nice catch.
I did not realize that.
So
he was able to get right in. Then there's a cop right there to grab him as he's getting in the car.
But
Wow. Well, RV, I think we might have discovered something here. Yeah.
I don't know what this person might have been thinking. They might have thought that because there were vehicles blocking the intersection so they couldn't go forward. But if I've got
I'm feeling safer in my car.
Correct. Thank you.
There are a couple of letters that come to mind. D and R. Those are the two letters that I would have used, one or the other. And it looks like there's a cop in front of me, so I would have used R. Reverse, go backwards. I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have been taping too, and then I've been like, oh my God, he's coming over to us.
So but
that car's just sitting there. I don't think there's anybody in that car.
It could be. You could be absolutely right, Bill.
Wow.
That's a great catch. Can I tell you, I came to another realization yesterday, and I think we had this all wrong right from the beginning. The whole downtown situation, they restriped the road, and they got the bike lanes in there.
I drove through it yesterday.
Those aren't bike lanes. No. Utica's a very progressive city. That is an inmate escape safe space.
It is, I figured.
They just have to jog along that route there so they don't get hit by a car.
Don't go out of those lines, and we'll just let you keep going.
Very progressive by the city.
That's the new bail reform in Utica. Wow, what a scene we have just seen. And by the way, Michael says, so you're saying Biden needs to come out of the closet? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've got him hiding in the closet. I see where you're going there, Michael. LOL. Santos, man. Wow.
Yes.
I don't know what to think about this guy. I just think when you look at the stories that he has told, what he has admitted, I don't know how this guy can look anyone in the face.
I know.
With everything that's happened up to this point. I don't know that we have anybody on either side of the aisle that reaches this level. Tanya Powers' level of almost like he's a pathological liar, I think it seems. Tanya Powers is on the line right now. Tanya, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't want you to judge, but man, how do you not judge this guy?
You're right. That is not my job.
Yep.
Thankfully, that falls to somebody else, probably with a law degree that I don't have.
Yeah, I know.
It's quite a list of things he has been indicted for. The 13 counts of wire fraud, money laundering, stealing public money, making false statements to Congress. This is just the indictment. As you mentioned, we're not even getting into yet all of the things that he's accused of lying about. Just anecdotally in his campaign, the things that he has admitted to lying about, these are just the actual charges.
Right.
This was handed up by a federal grand jury on Tuesday. The part of it says that he used campaign donations to buy personal things like designer clothes, pay for cars, pay for credit cards, that kind of thing. He is also accused about lying about his income on his congressional disclosure form, hence the false statements to Congress, part of those charges. Also getting unemployment benefits while he worked as a regional director of an investment firm. By the way, the government shut that down in 2021 over allegations that it was a Ponzi scheme. That's just a couple of the, examples of what this indictment has in it.
I mean, they say that he probably will not see any long-term jail time, but these charges could come with up to 20 years in jail.
That's just I think that's just for the top count.
Yeah.
That's just for the top count from what I understand. That's not even for the whole thing. He has a lot of people in his own party have asked him to resign. This is not, Democrats say he should resign because he's a Republican. These are people in his own party who've said, that he needs to step down. He has said no. Yesterday he reiterated that after he, finished in court. He said that he called it a witch hunt. He's free on $500,000 bond. He said he will run for re-election in the 3rd District of New York.
And McCarthy has now said he will not support him in his re-election bid. That's a big step right there. But at the same time, he is elected. I don't know how it's difficult to get rid of someone. So now he's only charged. That's the problem. So if I feel like he has to be convicted before they end up getting rid of him. But I don't know. That there are a lot of accusations there, and there are a lot of areas too, Tanya, where we have complete evidence that he has lied blatantly, because the tape is there with him telling the lie, and then he's later saying, "Well, yeah, I shouldn't have lied about that," and he's admitted that he has lied about things.
Lying isn't the issue. Lying on those forms, though. That's submitting false
Yeah.
documents and all that stuff. Yeah.
And our friend Tanya, John Decker, I spoke with him yesterday. John had some great shots. And John said, do not forget, and I have not forgotten, John predicted he would be indicted. He predicted it about 6 months ago. And sure enough, he was indicted. So, wow.
I learned in 2016, never doubt John Decker.
Yes. Yep.
Because I covered election night with him here in New York City.
Yes.
In 2016, and he called it at 7:00 in the evening.
Yeah.
He told me what was going to happen, and I was like, "Are you sure? How do you know? Oh my goodness, how do you know this? How do you know so early?" Because we were at 2 a.m, and we're all still like, "What's going on?"
Right.
He called it early, and that's when I went, "You know what? This guy knows. He knows what he's talking about."
No doubt. We'll have John on this morning and at
8:50.
8:50 this morning. So, but we always treasure our time with you, Tanya.
Yes,
Just
we
want
do.
you to know that. That's the real deal.
Well, thank you, and send my love to John. I haven't gotten to talk to him.
I definitely will. You have a wonderful day, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. This is some interesting stuff with this guy.
What a disgrace, to be honest with you.
In other news, there's a lot out there today. It's a busy one. We'll get in a little more on the issue of that Utica School District. We, by the way, are just a few days away from the big vote, and most school districts are in a position where there's a lot of money out there now. So it really should be a pretty, for most districts, it should be a pretty easy budget to vote on. I'm not sure where we'll be next year, but as for this year, there's a lot of that COVID money still around, so it should be fairly easy. Lemoyne College has announced they're moving to Division I.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal, especially for, now they used to be Division I in baseball, so they'll be going back to Division I in baseball. They are also really a good school in lacrosse. They're currently first in the nation in Division II in lacrosse. They're 16-0, I believe, Davey, right?
You are right.
Yeah, they're really good. And in basketball, of course, will be
so
interesting to see how they're able to compete in basketball. And with the way Syracuse athletics has been looking, I don't know. They might be competitive with Syracuse at this point in a couple of areas.
Could be, and maybe lacrosse is one of those. If they are such a lacrosse
no doubt,
powerhouse.
and Syracuse used to be the most powerful lacrosse team in the country back in the 80s and 90s, and I think they won like 10 national championships. They were huge, but since then, since we've gotten into the 2000s, not so good, Davey.
Right. But their women's team is phenomenal this year. They're number
Syracuse?
2. Yeah, they only got 2 losses.
Okay.
They're unbelievable.
Susan Sarandon was arrested yesterday in Albany. She was protesting. She's a big activist, and she was protesting restaurant worker wages in New York State.
You're kidding me.
That was her thing.
All the injustices in the world.
Well, I do think the restaurant workers kind of get left behind, but we make up for it, right? We're tipping now like crazy.
Okay, but
more
in
than
some
we
states,
ever have.
Some states, waiters and waitresses are still making like $2.40 an hour.
Yeah.
In New York, what are they up to? 11 something plus tips?
There has been. They have received part of the increase in minimum wage. But I think that the other thing is they have to get to minimum wage. If you're a waitress. Let's say the minimum wage is $15. Is that where we are now?
Upstate $14.20, New York City $15.
If you're a waitress and maybe the wait staff minimum wage is $11, I do think they still have to get to $15.20 or $14.20 with tips.
Yeah.
And if you don't, the employer has to make up for that. I don't think that ever happens. Anyway, Sarandon was arrested, and they were all protesting in hopes of trying to get better wages for restaurant workers.
And it's a quick search here. It's $10 an hour, the minimum wage for a tipped worker in New York. So it's $10 plus tip.
And did we already cover this story, or did I miss it? The 50-year-old Utica man arrested after police say he stabbed another man in the face with a blank. Do you know what that was?
I don't know this story.
It was a pitchfork.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, at 5:30 p.m. Tuesday. Who has this story? This is out of Syracuse.com. 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, police arrived at the 1100 block of Park Avenue for a report that a person had been assaulted. According to a release at UPD, a man told police he'd been stabbed in the face with a pitchfork after arguing with somebody. The pitchfork was a farm-type pitchfork. The man had cuts and puncture wounds to the face. Police say he received treatment and ended up having, according to Curley, had minor injuries. Jamal Williams, a 50-year-old, was arrested at the scene and charged with second-degree attempted assault, third-degree criminal possession of a weapon, and second-degree menacing. But it was a pitchfork. It's a wonder the guy's alive.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
That's a crazy story that I didn't really see hit hard here. I don't know why. Last night, Donald Trump thank you, Rob. For some reason, I couldn't come up with town hall this morning. But it was a CNN town hall and for the upcoming campaign. And here is where you're getting the liberals are going nuts over this. How could CNN give Trump a platform? How could this happen? What are they doing at CNN with this new leadership over there?
Well, I mean, they put a
That's
spotlight on him, and it's like the snake eating its own tail, I think.
Well, and really that was. It's all those, he talked about the conviction.
6th.
He talked about January 6th, said it was a beautiful day. January 6th was not a beautiful day. January 6th was horrible. Those Proud Boys needed to be convicted, in my opinion. And I'm just, I don't know how you can still say the election was stolen. But that's where he's going. That gives you a little preview of what this campaign is going to be. And it'll be interesting to see how far Republicans are willing to go with him versus the other candidates who are really coming out and saying January 6th was a bad day, a horrible day for the country, and the election wasn't stolen. So that's really the back and forth. But you're probably going to have 10 candidates on one side and Trump on the other. So those 10 candidates will then dilute the vote, and Trump will probably end up being the nominee if it goes that way. And is there one more? Oh, I did want to say, Davey, I know that this is nuts, but Gary Sanchez actually is his debut for Syracuse. The Syracuse Mets went very well. He's on fire right now.
And was he catching the ball? He actually caught the ball when it was thrown?
I don't know about catching the ball, but he did go 2 for 4 with Syracuse.
They played in Buffalo yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah.
And Carlos Beltran was there.
Oh, what was he there for?
He's there as a special assistant to the general manager, just to
All
make
right.
sure that Sanchez was all right.
To make sure he could catch the ball. Because he really struggles to catch the ball. I know that's
All
a
right.
basic thing in baseball. But
And I have one more here that's kind of interesting. Boy, Budweiser cannot get out of its own way.
What now?
It's just terrible. So you realize Budweiser decided we're gonna for Bud Light we're gonna go with a transgender. I mean, we're looking around. Jeopardy's had a lot of contestants that are doing really well. Last night, that woman, transgender woman, won again.
Yeah,
by far. I mean,
was that the woman that got? Was she the one that last night I watched it? It was down to the final 2.
Yeah, she was the one on the left.
Okay.
Yeah,
she's impressive. I like
yeah.
her.
You think she's cute, don't you?
No.
Yeah, you do.
She's
I
just
can see it in
very
your
impressive.
eyes. You're looking at her. I can tell. You like her. Anyway, well, there's nothing wrong with that, Davey. There's nothing wrong with that. She seems very, very pretty.
Well, she knows her stuff.
She knows her stuff. Anyway, this is a story about Budweiser. So Bud Light, of course, we all know, came out with a transgender spokesperson, and they and then Kid Rock went out and shot up a 6-pack of Bud Light.
Right.
And then the hysteria began. Now I'm not drinking Bud Light. And so then Bud Light is like, wow, what have we done? Our sales have dropped 20%. So Bud Light began pulling back from the transgender campaign. Oops, we might have made a mistake here. Let's pull back the transgender campaign. So now the people that are anti-transgender aren't buying Budweiser. Apparently that's 20% of their market. So they're not buying it. And now that they've pulled back on the transgender message, what do you think has happened? You can predict it.
That the group that's pro-transgender and sympathetic to that group, and it was all excited about the endorsement and the face on the can.
They're done. So watch the percentage fall even more. Chicago gay bars, for instance, have boycotted Anheuser-Busch for distancing itself from Dylan Mulvaney. That is the transgender female who was pictured on the can of Bud Light. They have chosen to side with a group of people who are being very hateful, who do not value the human rights or the lives of LGBTQ. And that was one bar owner in Chicago. So now you're going to see their sales end up at least with the people who were against this, they weren't drinking Bud Light. Sales had slumped, but it came back a little bit because all of a sudden the LGBTQ community was all buying Bud Light. You're seeing people who had never had a Bud Light before drinking Bud Light, saying things like, it's pretty good. Stuff like that. Now they're out. What's going to happen to Bud Light?
Well,
they're going to fall even further.
Yeah, there's no question.
They can't get out of their own way. Yeah.
What other? See, this is interesting, Bill. I believe you talked about this. Maybe you and Joe Lode talked about this yesterday. For instance, like Coca-Cola makes milk, right? Who knew that? And could you name the brand that they made? I know we've talked about it on the air. It's Fairlife.
Fairlife, and it's they are they will be with this new plant one of the largest producers, the largest producer of milk in New York State.
Obviously they make Budweiser. I know that, and I know they have their seltzer line that they make. But I'm just curious: are there other brands that it'd be the same company? I wonder if they make a push with a different product that is, pro-masculine, I don't know, good old days, if you will,
right? Yeah,
whatever.
A little throwback,
Yeah, just to try to lift sales on another product.
Back when Bruce Jenner was an Olympian.
Yes.
You know, those days.
There you go.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. And you know that both Pepsi and Coke are big sellers in the bottled water world.
Exactly. There's Dasani, and I forget the other one.
Yeah, I know. So they've gotten into other things beyond just soda. Substitute teacher in Florida, Jennifer Hale, is being charged after letting a 7th grader use her vape pen. Oh, this is brilliant.
A what?
A substitute teacher charged after letting a 7th grader use her vape pen.
How old are you? 13, 14 in 7th grade?
Yeah, in 7th grade. You're right out of 6th grade. Here's a mom of the middle school student, Jennifer Hunter, and the police chief there in Florida talking about the excuse given by the substitute teacher. Oh, do I not have this hooked up? All right.
Well, Smitty, hang on. Before you do that, I was going to clip this cigarette, but is there any? Are there any children down the hall who would want the rest of my cigarette? You sure?
I understand, but here's part of this problem. I'm sorry that didn't get plugged in. Here's part of the problem that we're dealing with. Substitute teachers, like everything else, you can't find them today. It's so difficult. So schools have lowered their threshold.
So you don't need to be like certified.
It used to be you had to be certified, and a lot of schools have gone away from that. And the reason being is because they just can't get teachers anymore. So in this case, maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but here's the excuse according to the teacher and the police officer.
I never thought that a substitute teacher would give my child that or someone else's child any of that stuff.
You can't do this. You just can't do it. I mean, this should be common sense. So she has a responsibility to that classroom to protect kids, not abuse them. Her response was she just wanted to fit in.
She just wanted to fit in.
There is an element, too, right, of acceptance. You're a substitute. You don't want spitballs thrown at you.
You're young. Probably, it doesn't say the age of the teacher here, but, that teacher might have been fresh out of college, and, but you're still much older than a 7th grader.
Yeah.
I mean, what is wrong with you?
Now, this happens every time Angelo comes back to town.
Yeah.
I try to impress him, let him know I'm still hip, I'm still cool.
You're much older than
But I don't ever,
This story I'm about to give you is my story of the day.
Okay.
Do we have a drum roll?
Yeah.
For that? Because I think
Tiffany
it's
one, here
quite
it comes.
important.
And
now,
the drum roll for the drum roll.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my story of the day.
Now, if it was the story of Monday, we'd go to the OD. But this is Bill's story of the day.
This is the story of the day, which, by the way, is going to be followed by my comment of the day, which is coming next. But there'll be no drum roll for that. Here's my story of the day. Do you remember Bo Jackson? Davey?
What?
Bo Jackson. Remember him?
Yeah, Bo knows.
Bo knows. Not only does Bo know the NFL and Major League Baseball, but apparently, have you seen this story yet?
No.
Bo has severe hiccups.
All the time?
Seriously. It's been months.
Does Bo know he has hiccups?
He does. Bo knows. Bo knows he's got hiccups. Bo's senile. No, Bo knows he's got hiccups. Here he is talking about what he's been going through. It's terrible.
I've had the hiccups since last July, and I'm getting the medical procedure done the end of this week to try to remedy it. But I'm busy at the hospital sitting up with doctors poking me and shining lights down my throat and probing me every way they can to find out why I got these hiccups. So
have we figured it out?
Hell no. I have done everything. Scare me, drink water upside down, smell the ass of a porcupine. It doesn't work.
He cannot stop the hiccups.
That was a prank. That's not a real cure for that.
Real. You're right. You're right. People are giving him fake cures at this point. All right, I got a break.
I've actually heard of this in one other case before. I got to look up and see what the solution was.
There was a solution. My comment of the morning will come on the other side of sports, which is coming up next year. WYBX Utica Rome. We're at 7 o'clock.
The end is near. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Title 42 COVID-era policy expires late tonight, and the predicted surge of illegal immigration has already been underway for days.
Immediately to my right, we have another 200 to 300 people that are lining up to come into this processing area.
That was at 2 o'clock this morning as Fox talked to Yuma County, Arizona Supervisor Jonathan Lyons, but Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas insists ending Title 42
does not mean our border is open. In fact,
It is the contrary.
He says there are new rules, like not allowing migrants who pass through Mexico to apply for asylum here if they don't apply for it there. Former President Trump, who put Title 42 in place, calls this a day of infamy.
These people are sick. Anybody that wants this to happen to our country, they're destroying our country, and this should not be allowed to happen.
At the CNN town hall, as he runs for the White House again, the former president refused again to admit he lost the 2020 election, calling January 6th a beautiful day. And as for the convicted Capitol rioters,
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I can't say for every single one, because a couple of them probably they got out of control.
He also called author E. Jean Carroll a whack job after a New York jury found him liable for sexually abusing her decades ago after she sued Trump, claiming he had raped her in the 1990s.
It's the most ridiculous, disgusting story. It was just made up.
Congressman George Santos is free on bond after the Republican pleaded not guilty to 13 federal charges in New York, accused of spending campaign money to pay personal debt and buy clothing, accused of collecting thousands of dollars in unemployment benefits while having a high-paying job, and lying to Congress.
I think this is about innocent until proven guilty. This starts. I have my right to fight to prove my innocence.
Santos has resisted calls to resign from Congress over numerous lies he told about his past during the campaign. America's listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years, I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks, the knee pain was completely gone, and the shoulder and back pain were reduced quite a bit. I can now exercise much more comfortably and practically pain-free. Thank you, Relief Factor. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. So it looks like a lot of people are thanking Relief Factor. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start at the reduced price of $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor. relieffactor.com.
We have clear skies and 42 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service, celebrating 70 years in business, 3 generations and counting. You can visit them at clintontractor.net. Well, an inmate wearing bright orange briefly escaped police custody in downtown Utica Wednesday afternoon before being recaptured by authorities. The inmate has been identified as Mitchell Clark of Frankfort and made an appearance in Utica City Court prior to the incident. The sheriff's office says after the appearance, Clark ran away from a correctional officer as he was being boarded onto the transport van to return back to the county jail. The man was not able to get very far as the Utica City Courthouse is located on Oriskany Street near the Utica Police Station and across from the Adirondack Bank Center. Clark was, though, able to yank open a motorist's driver door before law enforcement subdued him and took him back into custody. He was originally being held on charges that included, I just want to make sure I get this right here, that included, and I don't have it here, but now he's facing a charge of escape, which is a Class D felony. Madison County man in serious trouble with law enforcement after being accused of sexually assaulting a young girl. State police say 54-year-old Alan Meacham Jr. of Fenner abused the victim between November of 2022 and March of this year. His alleged crime was uncovered after family members of the girl saw some messages that he had allegedly sent through Facebook. Meacham is currently behind bars in the Madison County Jail. He is being held without bail. Bill mentioned this last hour. Officials at Lemoyne College announcing the school's athletic teams will be making a jump to D1 later this year. Right now, Lemoyne is a Division II school, and the change will go into effect on July 1st. Lemoyne is going to be a member of the Northeast Conference, featuring schools like Long Island University, Merrimack, Sacred Heart, and St. Francis. But under NCAA rules, the school will not be eligible for postseason play until the 2025-2026 academic year. New Yorkers currently looking for work might want to consider a career in the health and human services field. Governor Kathy Hochul says there are thousands of positions available right now across 10 state agencies. A virtual career fair is happening today from 11 to 2. And you have a chance to find out additional details about the jobs that need to be filled with the state. If you're interested, just log on to cs.ny.gov/help. Looking forward to another day of sunshine and warmth. Full details on your forecast right now from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Mostly sunny, warmer, mainly dry. Only the small risk of a brief afternoon shower, especially north. A high near 75. Tonight, mainly clear, mild night near 50. And tomorrow, mostly to partly sunny, warmer. Again, the small risk of a brief pop-up afternoon shower to the north and northeast. A high near 80. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, we have clear skies and 42 degrees. Your forecast brought to you by Country Suburban. WIBX News time is 7:06. All right, that's on one. All right, checking sports. The Knicks survive and live to play another day. They won Game 5 last night, 112-103. Jalen Brunson leading all scorers with 38 points to go along with 9 rebounds and a team-high 7 assists. R.J. Barrett chipped in 26 points. Jimmy Butler led the Heat in scoring with 19. The Heat are now leading the best-of-7 series 3-2. Game 6 in Miami on Friday night. A member of the Knicks has been named to the All-NBA third team. Julius Randle receiving 30 votes for second team and 35 votes for third team. This is his second All-NBA selection. Hockey, the Devils hope to avoid elimination. New Jersey visits the Carolina Hurricanes tonight in Game 5. They trail the best-of-7 series 3-1. Baseball, the Yankees get a 3-game sweep against the A's. 11-3 was the final. Jimmy Cordero earned his second win of the year after pitching an inning and 2/3 of scoreless relief. The Bombers went deep 3 times. Harrison Bader, DJ LeMahieu, and Anthony Volpe each hit home runs last night. New York is still last in the NL East at 21-17. It's still early, folks. I would be willing to bet almost anything they will be in first place at some point during the season and probably when the regular season comes to an end. The Mets, maybe not the case. They snapped their 3-game losing streak, barely beating the Reds yesterday 2-1. Justin Verlander was on the hill. He got his first win as a Met. Pete Alonso also hit a home run, his 13th of the season. The Mets now tied for third in the NL East. They're still under 500, though, at 18-19. The team is 4-12 in its last 16 games. Elsewhere in the sports world, Suns guard Chris Paul is out once again with a groin injury, while center DeAndre Ayton is questionable for tonight's Game 6. Ayton dealing with a rib contusion that he suffered in Tuesday's loss, and Paul will miss his 4th straight game with that left groin strain. What else do I want to mention here? The NFL releasing its full 2023 regular season schedule later tonight. The Miami Dolphins will be in East Rutherford to play the Jets in the NFL's first ever Black Friday game. That'll be on November 24th. The Giants will take on the Eagles in Philly on Christmas Day, and an AFC Championship game rematch will take place on New Year's Eve when the Cincinnati Bengals square off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Our man, Uncle Smitty, is hearing maybe the Buffalo Bills. Again, as I like to say, these are the holiday bills that you look forward to. Who doesn't love to watch their favorite NFL team on whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? You think the Bills are getting a Christmas Eve day? That's the report that's out there?
It's either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day at night game I saw. I think that's what I saw earlier this morning when they were predicting.
And that's fun, right? I mean, you do the family thing, you do the gifts, you have a nice meal, and you can sit down and watch your team on the holiday. I really look forward to that. And it'd be cool if the Bills got to play, because the Giants are on Christmas Day. It'd be cool if the Bills got to play Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
And there's a rumor going around that the Jets are going to be on prime time 7 or 8 times.
Oh, my goodness.
Just because
of Rodgers?
Rodgers.
Wow. That's incredible. Listen, we mentioned some hiring opportunities with New York State. Well, we've got one that's local, and it could make you a ton of money. It's your opportunity to help build the Mohawk Valley from the ground up. Earn up to $39 an hour, receive top-tier benefits, a pension, and state-of-the-art training. It's with Laborers Local 190, an affiliate of the Laborers International Union of North America. They provide you the training you need to get the job done safely and opportunities throughout your career to advance and to upskill, all while earning a solid family-supporting paycheck alongside your union brothers and sisters who always have your back. As a local 190 laborer, you can expect a hands-on, diverse, and dynamic career, including performing heavy highway work, asbestos removal, scaffolding, concrete work, tunnel work, and more. As a Mohawk Valley resident, you've seen the laborers work throughout the community. Notable projects that come to mind: the Nexus Center, the Wynn Hospital, Wolfspeed and Cree, Mohawk Valley Fab, and the roads that you travel on every single day. The construction industry has never been stronger, and it's your opportunity to make your mark and improve your life. Your career as a local 190 union laborer starts now. Just go to our website, WIBX950.com, click on the CNY Online Job Fair for details, or you can text JOBS to 345-345. Again, text JOBS to 345-345. They're looking for those with experience and those who are looking to just begin their construction career. WIBX News Time is 7:11.
Adirondack Home Furniture knows that when it comes to outdoor furniture, you want something that's comfortable, durable, and stylish. That's why Polywood is the perfect choice. Polywood furniture is made from high-quality materials that are weather-resistant and easy to clean. Plus, each piece is designed with comfort and style in mind, so you can enjoy your outdoor space like never before. Whether you're looking for classic Adirondack chairs, stylish dining sets and sofas, or a beautiful fire pit, Polywood has everything you need to create the perfect outdoor oasis. So why wait? Transform your outdoor space into a place of relaxation, fun, and style with Polywood furniture at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in and explore their large selection of Polywood pieces and take one home today. Adirondack Home Furniture does custom orders, delivery, and setup. Stop in today and explore the world of Polywood. Adirondack Home Furniture in the former Riverside Mall, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Hi, I'm John Martosh, and I'm running for the Utica School Board because I'm concerned about our children's education. The Utica School District ranks one of the lowest in New York State exams for math and English. Despite this poor performance, the current school board president, Mr. Habaika, wants to be reelected to continue to do more of the same. We had great teachers, but many say retaliation is the administration's response to teachers who pointed out needed changes. I will support parents, teachers, and administrators who want their voices heard when it comes to what their children are being taught. As I go door to door, parents tell me they want increased safety for students, transparency concerning the Utica School Board's $243 million budget, and concerns over the implementation of CRT. I, John Martosha, respectfully ask for your vote this Tuesday so I can help bring the changes, the accountability, and progress in improving graduation rates in our schools. It's a very important election, and I would greatly appreciate your vote.
Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead.
Are you a licensed master social worker with a passion for making a difference in the lives of others? Do you have a desire to work in a supportive and compassionate environment? If so, hospice and palliative care may have the perfect opportunity for you. They are currently seeking a licensed master social worker to join their team. As a hospice social worker, you'll provide emotional support, counseling, and resources to patients and their families during a difficult time in their lives. You will work with their clinical team to develop and implement care plans, advocate for the patient's needs, and ensure that they receive the highest quality care. At hospice, they believe that everyone deserves compassionate and dignified end-of-life care, and they are committed to providing their patients the support they need during this challenging time. To learn more about this exciting opportunity, visit their website at hospicecareinc.org or call today.
Hospice and palliative care. When you need us most.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Did you know that at ABC ChemDry, we have a state-of-the-art facility that specializes in premium area rug cleaning? If you have a cherished area rug that's a family heirloom from the Mid-East, Far East, or Europe, one that you know requires delicate care, our trained specialists at ABC ChemDry use a state-of-the-art 5-step cleaning process that ensures your rug is properly identified, dusted, cleaned, dried, groomed, and treated with moth repellent. You can trust the professionals at ABC ChemDry to handle your delicate, valuable area rugs as well as synthetic rugs. We also offer remove and reset services and rug wrapping. In addition to all that, we're a drive-in, drive-out facility that makes drop-off and pick-up quick and convenient. We're easy to locate on Erie Street in the beautiful city of Utica. Don't delay. Please call 315-738-1111 for more information on our specials and to schedule an appointment today.
Well, it's a Utica thing. Kitchen and bar is now open at the former Charlie's Pizza in North Utica in the Leland Plaza. Davey, your review.
I checked it out last week, and it's awesome food.
What did you have? What did you enjoy?
I had spaghetti.
Okay. You know that the spaghetti is all house-made.
Yes, it was very good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. They're doing a great job. The food is great. Of course, they use the Joe Morelli style greens, Utica greens, delicious. Serving lunch and dinner this week, Wednesday through Friday, lunch, but dinner, of course, every night from 4 until 10 o'clock. Sundays, they're open from 1 till 8. And taking reservations right now for Mother's Day. If you're, this is a great spot to go for a Mother's Day lunch or brunch or dinner, whatever you want. This Sunday from 1 till 8, call for reservations at 315-738-8946. Or you can do the reservations online using Open Table or one of those. It's a Utica thing, kitchen and bar, now open with great food and a full bar in the Big Lots Plaza, 350 Leland Ave, Utica. Call 315-738-8946 for reservations.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I told you I'd give you my story of the day. That was the Bo Jackson. Bo knows. Bo has hiccups. And then
Bo apparently also sniffs porcupine.
Apparently.
Butts.
Apparently. And here we go. My comment of the day. This is our comment of the day. Are you ready? This comes from Susan Z. Jones online. Susan Z. Jones, I believe from Rome. I don't know, though. Here we go. So many people across Oneida County listen to the morning radio talk shows. Listeners tune in to hear different guests talk about a variety of topics and to get the latest news. In my opinion, the Keeler radio show exemplifies political division that currently exists throughout Oneida County and our country. Rather than seek the truth, his biased views and opinions do more harm than good and is certainly not in the best interest of the community. Mr. Keeler creates controversy in a desperate attempt to increase ratings, even belittling people, groups, and potential guests. You know, groups like the Constitutional Caucus. I think that's where she's going. This came yesterday after the comments that I made involving Hennessy. Was he mad at me over that yesterday?
So I talked to Mike yesterday. He didn't hear the
I don't
show.
know why he'd be mad at me. I'm just telling you, I don't agree with him. I don't agree. If I don't agree with something or you don't agree with me, we don't hate each other over it.
Right.
Listen, Susan, you've got it all wrong. You're the divider. You're the one who hates someone because of their opinion. See? See the difference? I can have an opinion. You don't have to hate me. I don't hate you for your opinion. I may think that what you're doing is wrong, but you don't have to hate me over it. But certainly you can, I guess. And then the other thing is, I'm sure you have two good right and left arm, right? Two good arms. At any point, you can turn the dial. That's the beauty of America, right? Change the channel. Mr. Keeler creates controversy in a desperate attempt to increase ratings. All right, let's talk about that. I'm to the point now in my career where I'm doing this in Utica, New York. I am not, there was a time when my entire job relied upon ratings, and I'd have to sit there, we'd wait, and when the ratings came in, when was the last time we did anything like that?
I know, it's been a long time.
I pay no attention to it. I really don't. It gets boring seeing yourself in the position of number one all the time, doesn't it? It's boring. See, Susan, it just doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Maybe it's time. Maybe over the years, I have been desensitized to it. But believe me, I'm not doing anything that I do to increase ratings. It just doesn't work that way. It's not like Nielsen Nielsen handles our ratings today. The days of Arbitron are gone. And it's not like we're in what they call a metered market, where if I say something, all of a sudden you watch your audience. You literally watch your audience go up and down. Right. We're not in that world.
So,
So I pay very little attention to it.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this comment. I don't know if you want me to say it,
Can
but
I,
I'll say it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I was going to finish your comment, but I'll finish her after you.
Well, a great way to increase ratings, by the way, is to put out posts on social media that say, "Don't listen to this. It's banned. You can't. It's just not safe for your ears."
Put out a whole campaign with that. Mr. Keeler creates controversy in a desperate attempt to increase ratings, even belittling people, groups, and potential guests to the point that they no longer want to appear on his show. Really, what Mr. Keeler needs to understand is that nobody cares what he thinks. Listeners merely want to. Nobody cares what he thinks on the Keeler in the Morning Show. Okay. And to be honest with you, it isn't about. I'm not trying to sway anybody. The preaching thing I feel is bad. Right? When somebody's telling you how you're supposed to think.
Right.
You're thinking incorrectly. And I think everybody got into that at a time during Trump. I think there were people preaching.
Or during COVID, really.
Or during COVID. Or even today, that's still gone. You're preaching, you should do this. You should think this way. I don't feel that way. I have no problem giving my opinion and no problem speaking to someone who has an opposing opinion. I believe I probably have a differing opinion than many of my friends, if not most of them. But we all get along. I don't understand. Anyway, really, what Mr. Keeler needs to understand is that nobody cares what he thinks. Listeners merely want to know the issues and hear the responses from
anybody but you.
Else, everybody but me.
Not you.
Okay. I believe we're all capable of making an informed decision without Mr. Keeler rhetoric. All right.
Well, there you have it.
Although I would want to say, I really feel, and this is, I'm going to preach a little.
You just said you wouldn't preach.
I did say that, but I do think that what's going on at the Utica School District vote, man. If you, this is all I'm going to say. If you think that, so the other guy is Cooper and Hobiker. There are two open seats. Then you look at the other three candidates. They all are backed by, those three are backed by the current superintendent, Mr. Karam. And
is that right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, and some of the things that have, some of the stuff that's come out of Sue's mouth, I guess at the South, was it South Utica or West Utica last night? Which was they had a candidates forum last night, Davey.
Yeah, at the Irish Cultural Center.
Okay, that would be South Utica. Yeah, West Utica.
West Utica.
That's West Utica. Yeah. And apparently some people really got up and called Sue Arcuri a racist. There were because she said terrible things, and I guess this is the report that I received. A LGBTQ person got up and spoke about what they feel about the school district, and they asked candidate questions. Maybe they whatever. Sue Arcuri said something about I pray that God saves your soul or something like that. Like, in other words, you're going to hell. You gay person, you must be going to hell. That's what was reported to me from last night. Anyway, and then you have Martosha. I just feel like if you're not voting for Hobeika and for Cooper, you are ready to throw things back to the way it used to be. That's just how I feel, and that is my opinion. But I think the warning is, if you think Hobeika and Cooper are going to win by a landslide, do not think that. Because these people that want to send things back, with their own agendas, some of them have kids that maybe no longer work at the school district, and they're angry about that, or some of there's all sorts of potential agendas out there. I just think get out and vote on Tuesday, because if you just sit at home, there's a very good chance it's going to be very much back to the chaos.
So, are there any more of these candidate forms coming up? I mean, we're only a couple of days away from the election.
End of it.
That's
Davey,
probably
is that
the
the
last
end of it?
one.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
Yeah, that's the last one. Okay. I believe we're all capable of making an informed decision without Mr. Keeler rhetoric. Mr. Keeler rhetoric.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Susan Z. Jones, for that comment. Anything you want to add?
No, I don't even know what to say to that. I mean, it's kind of obvious here. We have a conversation about issues locally. We invite guests on. Some people choose not to be a part of it. If it bothers you that we don't just take any answer as an answer, sometimes we push a little harder. We ask more questions. If you're not comfortable with that, then don't be comfortable with that. But
and the Mike Hennessy thing.
So Mike was upset. He didn't hear it yesterday, though. He was hearing from people that I think he said he raked me over the coals, or he really came at me today.
That is just so not true.
That's what I said to him.
I said that Mike knows what he's doing when it comes to running. He's run enough times, but he allowed. The only criticism I have is he allowed that group, which I believe this woman must be a part of, the Constitutional Caucus, to do the signatures. And I've heard from people that said the signatures were a disaster. It was a mess. Now I do think he's going to get back on. I think he's going to sue. I would not be surprised if he gets. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets back on the ballot.
So, but I believe he intends to take legal action against the County Board of Elections, and then also bring the case, challenge the petitions that were thrown out in a higher court, whether it's a state court or I believe it would be in a state court where he would do that. So we'll talk to Mike on Friday morning. And
even Mike has said that we've given him fair interviews, although sometimes he'll come in and say that we haven't, but we do. I mean, I don't need to agree with you to give you a fair interview.
Right.
I don't understand that thinking.
Can I just say that, and I've told this to Mike before, I've said it to him on the phone and face-to-face. Look, not everybody's going to agree with what you're saying, and, you've disagreed with Mr. Hennessy a few times. He still comes in, he answers the questions, he tries to explain himself, and I give him credit for that. I mean, obviously he's been running, he's been involved in politics for quite some time, so maybe he's got a thicker skin than others, but those who kind of run away from it, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for you. And I don't mean you, Bill. I mean the candidate or the person where, oh no, I can't. You are just you should have been an FBI interrogator is what you should have been. Can we can you come in and turn the lights down? Just
I'm
get one
apparently-
light over Bill's head.
I'm apparently far more brilliant than I think I am.
All the lights down, and then we can get the guest, and we need little sweat beads on their forehead, and then you just press them. You
Yeah.
just as
Push them hard. Push them hard.
as Karen would say, we put the pressure to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Or I yell out things like, answer the question. Stuff like that. Yeah. I love it. But I what I don't agree with is the system is unfair. I don't buy that. And I know it was Jake or the guy. Who was the guy, Davey? That's
Well, I didn't talk to him. You talked to him. He sent me a message.
well,
and
he
then I talked to
came on
Mike
when he
afterwards.
came on the air. He said Jacob. He felt like it wasn't fair because Vicenti's been, he's an incumbent. He's been around. I mean, come on, let's not. That's ridiculous. You're taking on a challenger, or you're taking on the incumbent. It is what it is. That's how politics works in
Right.
this country.
It's not unique
And
to that office or to that person.
The signature thing, while maybe outdated, is the way we do it. And you know that going in, and you just have to, you got to make sure, which is why Mike got 1,500 signatures when he only needed 1,000, because you go over in case they're challenged. Now, the problem is, I'm hearing the number was like under 20. Like he missed out by under 20.
Yeah, it was 15 or 18 or something like that. Correct, yeah.
Andrew says, is Sue or Carrie that? Yeah, that's the woman. Andrew. Martosha is also psychotic. Well, I don't think that's fair to call him that, but the fact is they're all in it together. I like to call them the whack pack. They get together. They want to get good teachers. These teachers aren't good, they're saying. It's time to get better teachers, and they're teaching CRT in our schools. And none of that is true. The teachers are great teachers at Utica. In fact, they've added even more teachers. And then the whole thing about I think somebody asked him the other night, Martosha, if he was okay with burning books, and the answer to that, I believe, was yes. I'd like Martosha to come on the air. Can we get him?
I'll reach out to him. I don't want to say that.
And I mean, if Sue Arcuri wanted to come on, and what's the other woman? She hasn't been at as many of the forums. I don't think she has anyway. Greco, she hasn't been.
Right.
She hasn't been to us, but all of them can come on. And in any district, if you want to come on and promote your campaign, feel free between now and Tuesday to come on. Sheriff Mashel said, "You are correct. There was no one in the car." Yeah, I think that when that criminal, when the at least the prisoner was running from the scene, I don't want to judge here. He may not be a criminal, innocent till proven. I don't know what the situation is, but as he's running with the orange jumpsuit, the video's on our website. It looked like he got into the car, and the reason he was able to get into the car is because the person who was in the car got out, and you could see him come across the street, and he was kind of running away from the scene because he saw police chasing this man in an orange jumpsuit. I would think the safest place to be would be in your car, where you could put it in reverse and get out of there. Wow, just craziness. But anyway, Martosha would love to have him on. Let's see here. Yes, okay, all right, fair enough. The woman with the comments is a Zecca friend. She's friends with Jim Zecca. Jim is another one that I'm just so disappointed in. I've had opposing opinions with Jim. I do not agree with Jim's opinions. But Jeff, you were here. Yeah. We always had great conversations back and forth, right?
Who, me and you?
Zecca.
Oh, Jim, yeah.
Right? I mean, even when he'd bring remember, Davey, he'd bring in the signs, the people would be holding up signs, and he'd be doing his thing. That, to me, is democracy at its best. You care enough to stand up and make a sign and go out and demonstrate what you believe in. I love that. I may not agree with you. I remember the time Paceni came in with one of those big signs. Oh, I don't remember that. He's here now, though. I just feel like this whole thing where we don't get a fair shake is just so wrong.
So is it supposed to? Is the morning show supposed
Good
to
morning.
be?
I swear to tell the truth.
The whole truth. Yes. You may be seated. You may be seated.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Is it supposed to be like open mic morning? Is that what it is?
I think so.
It's just here's such and such. Here's John Smith. You've got 12 minutes.
That's right.
We'll be back after
Right.
this.
Right. It's not meant to be that way. It's a program. You get interviewed. All right. Anyway, enough of this craziness.
One more from Donna. Donna says this morning, the lady needs her head examined. I've listened to Bill. Now, this might be a little early. I didn't know since the mid-'70s, she said. But his opinion...
I was in 4th grade.
His opinion is an option,
anyway.
whether or not you agree with him. I sometimes agree,
To be
sometimes I don't. I'm not afraid to tell him or to correct him. His job is to report his view, not the view of his owners like Fox, CNN, and other media. Take all the opinions and make your own. Use your own mind to seek what's right.
That is exactly true.
And I'm quoting here from Donna. I'm not saying this, but
Okay.
Donna says, "Put on your big girl panties and get over it."
Me? Oh,
well,
sorry, Donna.
Okay, I'm just the messenger.
I'm not having a hissy fit. I'm enjoying it. Just for the record. All right. Anyway, with all this stuff, we'll move on. I do have to do our free money question of the day. We'll get to that in a second. Kevin James is with us right now. Kevin, the Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers Wanted Person of the Week is what we do every week, and this week we have Kevin on. Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Good morning, Bill. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Let's go with this week's Wanted Person of the Week. What do you have?
All right. This week we have Elvin Nieves, also goes by Brandon. He's a 29-year-old Hispanic male, approximately 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds. He is wanted by the Rome Police on 2 active arrest warrants, one for public lewdness, another for menacing in the 2nd degree, and aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. The public lewdness warrant is stemming from an incident that occurred in November of 2021. During this incident, Nieves was alleged to have exposed an intimate body part while committing a lewd act in a public place. The second warrant is also stemming from an incident that occurred in November of 2021, where it's alleged that Nieves threatened to shoot a female while holding a handgun. This incident occurred just hours after a shots fired call was being investigated in an apartment complex where the female victim lived. Nieves' last known address was on West Liberty Street in Rome, but it's believed that he is currently homeless. He does have ties to Syracuse and Watertown, though.
I believe he also goes by an alias, right?
Brandon?
Brandon, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. And we'll have fully his mugshot up on the website as well, and all the details. Crime Stoppers is great. As you know, Captain, it's very easy to make the call, and it is the key here. It's all 100% anonymous.
Yes, that's huge. It definitely gets us more tips that come in, and they feel a lot safer.
Yep. And we have to say a thank you to the Rome Police Department. Crime Stoppers came to us by way of the Rome Police Department. That's where it actually started. So.
Yeah, Captain Tim Bates, now retired, had spearheaded that project.
Captain Kevin James, Rome PD, we appreciate it. We'll do it again soon. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. And that'll be up on our website at WIBX950.com.
So does Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers have a sign that says, "Let's find Brandon"?
They might. All right, let's do our free money question of the day. Davey, it is caller number what?
5.
5th caller through the lines right now. Hey, we gave away $100 yesterday, and let's keep it going. Keep it moving. 5th caller right now with 315-736-0186.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 2nd at the Stanley Theater. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Get tickets at the Stanley Theater box office, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling 315-724-4000.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Adirondack Home Furniture knows that when it comes to outdoor furniture, you want something that's comfortable, durable, and stylish. That's why Polywood is the perfect choice. Polywood furniture is made from high-quality materials that are weather-resistant and easy to clean. Plus, each piece is designed with comfort and style in mind, so you can enjoy your outdoor space like never before. Whether you're looking for classic Adirondack chairs, stylish dining sets and sofas, or a beautiful fire pit, Polywood has everything you need to create the perfect outdoor oasis. So why wait? Transform your outdoor space into a place of relaxation, fun, and style with Polywood furniture at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in and explore their large selection of Polywood pieces and take one home today. Adirondack Home Furniture does custom orders, delivery, and setup. Stop in today and explore the world of Polywood. Adirondack Home Furniture in the former Riverside Mall, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
This weekend, watch Mohawk Valley Partnership for Health Equity, the story of several area organizations working together to bring health care to marginalized populations. Saturday at 1 p.m. and Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on WUTR. Brought to you by the Rome branch of the NAACP, Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, MVHS, The Center, Rome Health, Connected Community Schools, Jervis Public Library, and the Capitol Arts Complex.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
That's kind of what I said, too. I mean, you got to, it is what it is. We'll talk about it. 7:43, good morning. It's Thursday morning. We've not talked enough about this. We're going into Mother's Day weekend. Remember Mom this weekend. And, you know, make sure. The other thing is I find that it's important to, maybe this is me pontificating, giving my opinion. I don't want to make anybody angry. But sometimes you got to remind your kids to remember Mom, right?
Right.
And teach them that way right up in the early beginning so they don't forget. Some kids just don't remember. It's unbelievable.
Well, I think they
It's like
remember,
Mother's
but
Day.
it's a one-way street. The appreciation, the love, the recognition. I
Yeah.
think sometimes for some,
Mom's always there.
I think it's a one-way street where the kid thinks, why would I get my parents something? It's my parent. They give to me. I don't give to them.
Does seem there's a generational problem going on here that needs to be corrected. Joe is in Marcy. Hello, Joe. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. You ready to go here, Joe?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
Yep.
Now, I'm not sure you're going to want to hear my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. I think you're going to win. So let's make it happen.
Okay.
All right. It comes from
All
the
right.
Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. For your legal needs, 315-724-1600. Here's your question. Naval mechanical engineer Richard T. James created this in 1943. By the way, it was an industrial, whimsical toy that did not require batteries. What is it? Ready, go.
What is Battleship?
Oh, okay. You know, today's Battleship requires batteries, believe it or not.
Yes, I have the electronic talking
Yeah,
battleship.
it talks, it makes explosions, you hear it. Yeah. All right, mechanical engineer, whimsical toy. You got it, Jeff.
Slinky?
Yeah, the Slinky. Yeah.
Oh, the Slinky.
Slinky. No batteries required. Yeah. Okay, listen, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card from the Mohawk Valley Garden. That's the Comets organization, any of the Adirondack Bank Center concession stands, the Nexus concession stands, and any of their restaurants. Aquavino in New Hartford now doing a great job. Babe, 72 Tavern and Grill. Taylor and the Cook, it's a $25 gift card. Davey will hook you up, so stand by. Joe, you have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Joe in Marcy. What was the, there was a jingle to the Slinky.
A slinky, a slinky. There's something about fun for a girl or a boy.
Girls and boys.
And there's some kind of a toy. I don't.
Yeah. People in ranch houses don't understand because you didn't have a stairway, right? You wanted it. I remember as a kid, I always wanted a stairway just so we could put the Slinky at the top of the stairs and watch it go down.
It walks down. Yeah, okay.
County Executive Anthony Pacini is in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, I think the comment of the woman that was upset with me, doesn't want my opinion, has everything to do with the petitions and your opponent, or will he be your opponent, Mike Hennessy, now being knocked off the ballot because of petitions. Still he's going to sue to get back on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that he will get back on. But I've been told that the signatures were rough.
Well, we wouldn't have objected to them if we didn't believe that they were bad signatures, or a majority of them were bad. Actually, we submitted, I believe, over 800 of the 1,500 plus that he had submitted. We submitted them, or we objected to them. And the Board of Elections, weeding through, they're doing their job, then narrowed that down to, I think, somewhere around, just under 600, 580 or some number within.
So it is true. It was within about.
So it's at about 14, I think. Right
14.
Now. I think
Okay.
It's 14. I think it's 14 to.
I am, and my only opinion. This is not an opinion that supports you in any way. It's just a general opinion, and that is the system is the system.
It is.
When you drive down the road and the speed sign says the speed limit is 55. After you get nailed for doing 65, you can't say, well, that's not fair. Because you knew what it was when you drove down the road.
And here's the thing. I've been doing petitions, in my whole career in politics, 40 years or whatever. And so there's two rules to this, in terms of campaigns, if you're running campaigns, and you're familiar with this. So if you get two or three times the amount that you need so that it's hard to challenge,
right,
and
right.
Then it becomes really, really very difficult. And if you don't, then the sloppiness of them and the blatant things that jump out at you on the document is what can be objected to, and in that case, that's what we found. And so the other thing is, look, you're running for office, and whether it's county executive or whether it's legislature or council or whatever, I mean, you're running for an office in which you're supposed to uphold the law, and you're supposed to, especially as the chief executive of Oneida County, you're supposed to uphold that. You're supposed to not only everybody's got to follow the law, but you're supposed to even go that higher standard to uphold it. So if you're submitting petitions that are not up to that, that standard, then, you shouldn't be complaining about it. And there's no one else to blame but yourself or your campaign or whoever is doing it for you. So, look, this is not about not wanting Mr. Hennessy on the ballot. I him the last time. But here's the thing: do it the right way.
I have when he first came on and said he was running. I don't know if you remember this, but I had said, "Are you sure that the Jim Zecca, the Constitutional Caucus, is who you want on your team?" And he said, "Well, listen, they're hard workers. Everybody," which I agree. I guess they are hard workers, but you want you're going to need a team that knows what they're doing to make sure that they can get this stuff right. And so ultimately, he said that was okay. But today, I'm not sure that was the right decision.
Well, that's not for me to.
Yeah,
It's not for me to place my opinion on, but again, follow the rules, and they are. It is a crazy system. It really is. New York has one of the most complex and ridiculous systems. When it comes to, especially when it comes to, fusion parties. I mean, we should really, end that practice that has gone on for too long.
What is
and
that?
The ability to run on multiple lines. And to, in terms of that, other states don't do that. I mean, it's you're on one line.
Yeah,
you can have a couple endorsements of parties or organizations, but you're on one line. And the ability to go and get an independent line, another line, and everything. It just clouds up the whole system. But
why do you feel people should say I'm sticking with the Senate?
Well, I have a record. The record is strong. I think the county's in the most, and I believe this, and talk to other people in the community that can look and say, county's in the strongest fiscal position it's ever been in to be able to deal with the challenges, to be able to deal with investment, to be able to deal with all of the things that we've been doing. The growth of this community over the last just 10 years is remarkable. And that's due to, I believe, my administration and the Board of Legislators and what we've been able to do together. And look around and tell me it's not a better place than it was several years ago. And we're committed to doing more. And so I think I've showed leadership on state issues, federal issues. Yesterday, I came out very strongly about.
We'll talk about that
about
too.
the migrant situation. But those are and those are other aspects though of what we've been doing. And while we do have challenges, as I said yesterday, and we do have issues, I still think I'm the best to handle that, going forward for the next 4 years.
So how do you see this working? Your announcement yesterday.
Well, regarding the migrant situation,
Yeah.
well, I think it's really a twofold. It's really about the first part of it is this has been a problem that obviously you've talked about it continuously. It's in the news every single day on every media network and paper and everything in terms of what's happening with the number of undocumented migrants, immigrants, as they are called in different circles, throughout. And New York State has been welcoming them, but there comes a point where you have a capacity issue, and then you have a financial issue. And my point to the governor on this is, and to the mayor of New York as they try to move these people in other areas, that we have a capacity issue too of dealing with the homeless, the emergency needs of community people, of people who have fallen on hard times. We have those needs now, and we are at capacity. If you recall, I said this yesterday, we, just a few months ago, we were opening the county building at night to have people come in the cold weather. I mean, those are the kind of problems we're dealing with. So if you want to, provide, if you want to just bus and then drop people into communities, I think I think there has to be a discussion about it first, rather than just get us on a call and say, well, it's a last resort, but we're looking at this. And so I think it's important for us to take a stand. I think it's important for us to, and that's why I put in the emergency declaration and an executive order, and just stating that we can't accept them.
Can you, when there's a need for, whether they be migrants or they be people who are from this community, when it comes to the cost of housing somebody who is homeless or doesn't have another place to go, or receiving some type of benefits, whether it's the SNAP program,
Sure.
or going to is that a state cost, a federal cost, a county cost?
It's all of the above. But the issue with that is, and that's a great point, because if you have undocumented immigrants, that there's not any entitlement there. So while they look to house them, the question then becomes, because they're not eligible under the law for SNAP, Medicaid, public assistance, direct benefits. The difference with dealing with homeless people in our community is that for one reason or another they are a resident of New York State. They have an existence here in some shape or form, and then they are then entitled to that. So the shelter that we provide them is temporary in that instance, and with the intent that we provide services to them to get them back on their feet and to get them into some level of independence in an apartment, in a complex, in some place, or whether it is in a shelter for a period of time if they have other issues such as substance abuse or the like. So you do that. With this, there is no connection to that, and that's the whole point. So if you were to bus those people in, and place them in a hotel or several hotels, depending on how you did it, what next? So you give them a room, for how long? Because we don't do that on long term. We're not in that business of long term. But then what benefits do you provide them when they're not entitled to benefits? And who's going to pay for that? Then is it a burden on the county? And, the answer is, well, New York City has to reimburse you. Will they? He's saying he doesn't have enough money or capacity anymore.
Right.
So here we are again, yet we're accepting more. And it's not, to clarify, because I said, look, we're a welcoming community, always have been. Immigrants have come here for centuries. My family and others, I'm sure, in this room.
Mine as well.
Yeah. And so, but and the refugee center, or the center as it's now known, Shelley Callahan and her staff do a remarkable job. But that's a process in which it's done correctly. It's
a
done,
process. They don't just show up with a bus
they just
one
don't
day.
show up,
Yeah.
and they're not undocumented. There's documentation. The other issue is, when and this is not about not being welcoming, and this is not about being a hard-hearted, whether you want to, can't call myself a conservative because I didn't get that, but a cold-hearted person in terms of the concern. It's there is a system in place to accept refugees. There's another system now that the country has gone down this road. And the other point is they've known about this problem for months. They knew Title 42 was going to expire, and that was going to be this. And so now, 4 days before this, all of a sudden it's a crisis. The governor calls a state of emergency. Come on, I mean this is another example of. And the state, we just got slewed in the state budget with costs,
right?
And now you want to pass on more to us.
If there were to be a bus, I had reached out previously and asked this, and I don't think there's an answer to it. There's no notification, right? Like,
well,
it's not like Eric.
They said they're supposed to tell us, but what is the notification? Is it a day? Is it hours?
They're getting off 31 right now.
Right, we don't know.
See, first of all, we talked about this yesterday, where I really feel that what the governor of Texas has done and just dropping people off in New York City is wrong.
It is.
I think it's using people as a stunt. However, what the state is doing is wrong as well, because while they're criticizing what the Texas governor is doing, they're doing it to their own counties.
And they're saying, bring us more.
Right.
And they did say
you're
that.
right.
They did say that at the beginning. They said, we'll take them.
Right.
Okay, well, you know what? If I'm in another state and you're going or anything else, if you're going to say you'll take them, okay, I'll pass them over.
So the whole thing is,
if I can't handle it.
The whole thing is one big contradiction, and it is a mess. Susan Z. Jones, she's the one that criticized me. I dug in a little just to find out, what. So it really is a Hennessy versus you thing, and I'm caught up in it. So you dragged me right into it somehow, or I dragged myself in. But Susan says, first, we are a sanctuary state. We already have illegal aliens in Oneida County hotels, which the federal government pays for. We, the taxpayer, Okay. But any executive order will not comply. Since we are a sanctuary state, the illegal aliens can go anywhere they want, including Oneida County. Once again, the county executive is wrong. I thought you'd like to comment on that.
We are not a sanctuary state. We're not. I mean, New York City is a area in which shelter in place is, or shelter for migrants is in place in terms of what the funding that they've received and the basis that they've accepted them.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, I mean, are there sanctuary cities in New York State? I'm sure there are. I know there. I mean, we are not.
Right.
Utica is not. I mean, even though the center is there, I mean, that is not the case. So, while, we we do place one-offs, if you will, that sometimes come through, but then that goes through a system. It's
Do we have
not-
illegals in hotels?
No.
Okay.
No.
Stand
Not that
by.
I'm aware
On the other side of news, I want to chat some more. County Executive Anthony Pacini is with us. We'll get back to it coming up. You have comments, 315-736-0186.
Title 42 ends tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and there's already been a record surge of illegal immigration in recent days before the end of the COVID border policy.
The city folks here are doing everything they can. They are clearing the streets. They are opening the shelters, but they're just not sure if it's going to be enough.
Fox's Caroline Shively's in El Paso, Texas.
Just behind the wall in the razor wire, there are groups of migrants. They are waiting to see if the federal border patrol agents will let them across the border. 800 miles from here in Brownsville, migrants have set up a tent city on the Mexico side.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas insists the border is not open and there are new rules that'll keep some migrants from seeking asylum here. House Republicans plan a vote today on a border security bill that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy just told Fox.
It'll remain in Mexico. It'll finish the wall, which is so successful.
But President Biden says he'd veto bringing back Trump policies that trample our values. House Democrats are pushing their own bill to give migrants a path to citizenship. Republican Congressman George Santos, who lied about his past, is now free on bond, continuing to reject calls to resign after pleading not guilty to 13 federal charges in New York, including fraud and misusing campaign money and lying to Congress.
I will prove myself innocent, and then we'll move from there. And re-election is a very far time away from now.
Former President Trump, campaigning for his old job again at a CNN town hall forum, repeated his claims of a 2020 rigged election, and he said he'd pardon most convicted Capitol rioters.
They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day.
He also called E. Jean Carroll a whack job. The author who sued him, alleging Trump raped her decades ago.
I have no idea who this woman. This is a fake story, made up.
The jury in New York, though, found him liable for sexually abusing Carroll and defaming her, ordering him to pay $5 million. A police officer shot and wounded in Lakeland, Florida. The accused gunman, a 13-year-old boy hit by return fire. Both are expected to survive. America's listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years, I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks, the knee pain was completely gone, and the shoulder and back pain were reduced quite a bit. I can now exercise much more comfortably and practically pain-free. Thank you, Relief Factor. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. So it looks like a lot of people are thanking Relief Factor. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start at the reduced price of $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor. relieffactor.com.
WIBX 950 news time is 8:03. WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. This news update is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. An inmate, wearing a bright orange jumpsuit briefly escaped police custody in downtown Utica Wednesday afternoon before being recaptured by authorities. The inmate, identified as Mitchell Clark of Frankfort, and made an appearance in Utica City Court prior to the incident. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office says after the appearance, Clark ran off as correctional officers were trying to board him back onto a transport van to return to the county jail. The man was not able to get very far, as the Utica City Courthouse is located on Oriskany Street near the Utica Police Station and across from the Adirondack Bank Center. You can see video and photos on our website at WIBX950.com. Clark was able to yank open a motorist's door before law enforcement subdued him and took him back into custody. He now faces a felony charge of escape. A Madison County man in serious trouble with the law, being accused of sexually assaulting a young girl. State police allege that 54-year-old Alan Meacham Jr. of Fenner abused the victim between November of 2022 and March of this year. His alleged crime was uncovered after family members saw some messages that he had sent to the girl through Facebook. Meacham currently being held in the Madison County Jail without bail. Officials at Lemoyne College announcing the school's athletic teams will be jumping to D1 later this year. Right now, Lemoyne is a Division II school, and the change will go into effect July 1st. Lemoyne is going to be a member of the Northeast Conference that includes teams like Long Island University, Merrimack, Sacred Heart, and St. Francis. But under NCAA rules, the school will not be eligible for postseason play until the 2025-26 academic year. Well, even though the deadline is still 2 years away, the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles is urging residents who have not applied for a real ID or enhanced ID to do so now. Starting in May 2025, all air travelers 18 and older will need to have a real ID or real ID compliant document like an enhanced license or passport if they want to fly within the U.S. The DMV has set up an online pre-screening process to help make getting those documents easier. That can be found online by visiting dmv.ny.gov/real ID.
I believe we kind of kicked the can down the road a few years back. You remember that with this thing? We weren't ready. New York was not ready, so we got a bit of a variance to be able to kick the can down the road. Now it's coming.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
And speaking of being ready, I know you are, and I am, and I'm sure Tony is too, ready for another day of nice warmth and sunshine. Full details in your forecast from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center today. Mostly sunny, warmer, mainly dry. Only the small risk of a brief afternoon shower, especially north, a high near 75. Tonight, mainly clear, mild night near 50. And tomorrow, mostly to partly sunny, warmer. Again, the small risk of a brief pop-up afternoon shower to the north and northeast, a high near 80. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, checking sports. The Knicks stay alive in the NBA playoffs. They held off the Heat last night 112-103 on the strength of 38 points from Jalen Brunson. The Knicks now trail the best-of-7 series 3-2. Game 6 is Friday night in Miami. Julius Randle named to the All-NBA third team. It's the second time he's been an All-NBA selection. The Devils hope to avoid elimination tonight. They visit the Carolina Hurricanes for Game 5. They trail the best-of-7 series 3-1. Some baseball. The Yankees get a sweep of the A's 11-3 the final yesterday. Jimmy Cordero gets his first win. Home runs from Harrison Bader, DJ LeMahieu, and Anthony Volpe. New York still last in the AL East at 21-17. It'll just make for a better story this fall when they surge to the front of the pack. The Mets snapped their 3-game slide as they beat the Reds 2-1 in Cincinnati. Justin Verlander gets his first win as a Met. Pete Alonso, a solo shot in the second inning, his 13th home run of the season. The Mets still under 500, though, at 18-19. The NFL releasing full regular season schedule tonight. The league announced several key matchups, though, yesterday. That includes the Dolphins and the Jets playing the NFL's first ever Black Friday game. The Giants will take on the Eagles Christmas Day. Other key matchups announced yesterday as well, including the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars in an international game in London. And former NFL receiver Henry Ruggs III formally pleaded guilty to a deadly car crash in 2021. He did that in court yesterday. That includes 1 count of DUI resulting in the death of another and 1 count for misdemeanor vehicular manslaughter. I didn't know vehicular manslaughter came in a misdemeanor fashion, but police say Ruggs was speeding over 150 miles an hour on a residential road in Nevada when he crashed into another car, killing the driver and their dog.
Wow. Terrible. Okay, here's a story that you didn't cover. I can't believe you left this out. St. Louis, a man in St. Louis says American Airlines lost his luggage, and in it was a $26,000 prosthetic leg.
Oh, my goodness.
And they refused to reimburse him.
What?
I think I would have checked it in, right?
Well, I'd probably be wearing it if it was me.
You probably would be wearing. Maybe it was a spare. Could have been a spare.
A $26,000 spare?
Here he is telling his side of the story, but he says that American Airlines will not reimburse him. Here it is.
Dealing with a prosthetic leg is not as easy as people think it is. You can't do this to somebody that's disabled. Just say, hey, we lost something of yours, but we're not going to pay for it. The special made leg, I put it in my suitcase. When I get to St. Louis Airport, I'm sitting there waiting for my luggage to come off and never comes off. $26,000. When you find the one that works, that's the one you want to hold on to.
They gave him $600 for lost clothing. But, don't they tell you don't put valuables, things that are very valuable in your luggage? I think they tell you that. Maybe they don't.
Still don't understand why.
Maybe it's my wife that tells me that. Don't put valuable stuff in your luggage, you idiot. That's it. That's it. Now I'm right. Yep. Anyway, I got a break. We'll come back and speak with the county executive. If you have any questions, this is your opportunity, 315-736-0186. I want to talk about Adirondack Bank. Adirondack Bank has you covered with a home equity loan. They have 14 locations in the area with their mobile banking app. Adirondack Bank is simply a click away or a call away or a short drive. You'll always be treated like a neighbor by Adirondack Bank. Visit any one of their locations today and begin your ADK experience at AdirondackBank.com. Adirondack Bank member FDIC. And by River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in central New York. You want to hear that from someone? Bill and Robin Manju will tell you all about it, and so will Andrew. Our man Andrew. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. It's all about the services, the extra things they do to release that stress level, to relieve that stress level, to allow you to go through that process without just all the stress in the world, because selling a home can be very difficult. Your listing agent is with you every step of the way, from start to the very finish. No one's going to walk through your home without your listing agent there, keeping an eye on things, making sure the house is ready to show, and you're putting your best foot forward. In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, it's River Hills Properties, LLC.com. Call 315-896-1009. Remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 2nd at the Stanley Theater. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Get tickets at the Stanley Theater box office, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling 315-724-4000.
Hi, I'm John Martosh, and I'm running for the Utica School Board because I'm concerned about our children's education. The Utica School District ranks one of the lowest in New York State exams for math and English. Despite this poor performance, the current school board president, Mr. Habaika, wants to be reelected to continue to do more of the same. We had great teachers, but many say retaliation is the administration's response to teachers who pointed out needed changes. I will support parents, teachers, and administrators who want their voices heard when it comes to what their children are being taught. As I go door to door, parents tell me they want increased safety for students, transparency concerning the Utica School Board's $243 million budget, and concerns over the implementation of CRT. I, John Martosha, respectfully ask for your vote this Tuesday so I can help bring the changes, the accountability, and progress in improving graduation rates in our schools. It's a very important election, and I would greatly appreciate your vote.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Yeah, the curse is I am a Syracuse fan, I'm a Mets fan, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. That is the curse. And with the Bills and the Mets, we're supposed to be these are supposed to be good times. We just have not quite gotten there yet. In studio right now is the county executive, Anthony Pacenti, and we're talking about this issue with Title 42. And don't we already have a problem? I understand there are people saying that they're in the dark of night, the federal government's coming in with dropping people off at airports. There have been photos that show some of that, but I don't think any real evidence that has occurred. However, what is a problem is none of the focus seems to be on the northern border. There's an issue there as well.
That's true. The other thing I think is that doesn't get talked about, and we talked about the services or whatever is not able to be provided or being provided or whatever. You know, Shelley Callahan, who's, as I mentioned, the director of the center, who, again, great community leader and such. But she also points out this is a very inhumane piece that we're dealing with here, and with these people too. And let's not forget, they are, these are human beings that you're just kind of literally treating like, you hate to say like cattle in that, by shuffling them around to different locations. And, it's inhumane. It really is on top of it. So We're in a crisis of which we can't handle people because of capacity. We can't handle them because of financial. And what that leads to is we can't handle them in terms of what other health issues and everything else that comes along with it. And that's just wrong. And that's why, the point here is, we should be trying to solve the problem, not adding to it and not passing it on to other counties.
I want to throw something at you that has hit the news, but really no one has covered it here, and that is the issue of Wolfspeed and their stock values have reduced significantly over the course of the last few months, and they're blaming it on delays at the Marcy campus, in the Mohawk Valley campus is what they call it, and the delays are caused by the supply chain issue. So the supplies aren't coming in; they're not able to produce. Therefore, their expectations are much lower, and the stock has reduced. Are you worried about that? Has there been any discussion about that?
Actually, there's been there's always ongoing discussion with Wolfspeed. We continue to stay in touch with them and talk to them regularly and look to hopefully seeing more growth from them actually.
Yeah.
But supply chain is an issue across the board, and so it's not unique just to Wolfspeed. It's not unique just in that industry. It's something that we're still dealing with on a variety of issues. So, it's understandable. It's you obviously don't want to it's not favorable in that regard. But I'm still confident and not concerned that that's it's a global problem. Obviously, it needs to get fixed. That's another aspect that. What's the federal government looking at when it comes to that? We're dealing with that on I know it's we're not comparing the technology, but we are in some regards on the projects we're doing, in terms of infrastructure and the like around the county building and with the garage and other things. We've seen supply chain issues all across the board since and during and even after the pandemic, and that's an ongoing problem.
And then the issue that I think one of the biggest issues you faced during your time since COVID as county executive has to be the ability to hire people and the lack of employees that are out there. How has that hurt the county? And is there any light at the end of the tunnel? And Jeff and I talk about this. We don't know where the workers went. Where did all the workers go?
We don't know where they went either, and we don't know what else we can. We have been trying so many different things. I think you said you're going to have the sheriff on. We talked about that.
There's an area where it's dangerous.
The sheriff and I talk every day between corrections, road. 911 is really hurting right now. In terms of our telecommunicators or dispatchers, in terms of what we have. Caseworkers, we're still struggling. Another aspect, when you compile all of this stuff that you're trying to do, back to the migrant issue and everything else, and the immigrants, it's who's also going to service all of these things. But I don't know. I talked to several legislators yesterday because it was board day and said, if you got any ideas, we're open. We've tried incentives. We tried increasing salaries. We've tried recruitment issues. We're looking at some other pieces going forward, but we're still struggling to hire. And I've never seen that in government because usually we have solid. You're going to get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The health benefits are there. The retirement is there. There's other. The hours of work are what they are. The holidays are paid. So it's really you scratch your head and say where do we go from here? But we are struggling, and then businesses are struggling, retail struggling, restaurants are struggling still, looking for people. So I don't know. We've got our work cut out for us in that regard, and that's why I say we have serious challenges, and we don't need more being thrown at us from that perspective.
A quick follow. You mentioned some of the supply lag, the backup. A question here: ground parking. Some concerns about Wynn Hospital and the parking garage. I think this is specifically in regard to because the parking garage is set to open about 6 months after the hospital. That some are expressing
it's moving along pretty quickly.
It is moving along, yeah.
It is.
But it'll still open after, right?
Right now it's still
concern about
early.
When the hospital first opens, will there be enough ground parking for MVHS plus Nexus and Adirondack Bank Center.
We've been working with the hospital, with the city, with Adirondack Bank Center, and everyone. And if you notice, they've cleared some other buildings around on the other opposite corner of the garage property. That'll be surface parking. We will probably use some of the Nexus parking during the daytime hours. At least during the week to offset some of that and look at some other areas, but. The garage, as Bill said, has been moving along pretty well, so we're hopeful that will get, maybe we won't be as far behind the hospital opening as planned, but we're getting there, and I think we'll be ready.
I'm assuming a mild fall would help.
Well, a mild
later
fall
start to
will
winter
certainly help. I mean, this past winter was really great. I mean, it really just let them chug along, and they're moving now. We've got some other challenges coming up now with pouring some more concrete, a whole lot of concrete over the next several weeks. So that is really going to determine how we can move through the summer a little bit more. But you see it taking shape. You see the ramps and everything that's going there. So it's starting to look like a garage more and more.
Kevin with a question here now for County Executive Anthony Pisani. Kevin, go ahead. You're on the radio.
Yeah, how you doing this morning?
Good.
I got a question on these sanctuary cities, for example, down in New York and some of the other ones. I think that is one of the problems of these immigrants, that these cities allowing them to come there. And I'd like to know who makes these laws and rules and regulations about them. And I think that's what they have to do, is get rid of them and stop that.
I do think Syracuse might be. We were just talking during the break about this. I think Syracuse is also a sanctuary city.
It's a determination that they make, and then gets them the designation, from in this case the federal government or what have you.
Is there funding that they get out of this?
Yeah, since we're not involved, I'm not aware of that. So I mean, I'm assuming there's some type of funding. I mean, New York City does.
Right.
New York City, as I understand, and I don't know the exact amount. I think that. Talking to Senator Griffo, they got money, last year, they got money in this budget or in the past budgets for more of that. So, that's the other question. It's like, but look, it goes back to if they, can they handle them? I think the capacity and the financial aspect of it is really a question. I just want to reiterate, we don't have illegal aliens in hotels, or we're not housing them. I think that's important.
There could be someone here,
but we're
probably
not responsible.
It's not government endorsed.
It's not government endorsed or government funded. I guess is the other point.
Kevin, is that good? You're right, though, Kevin. I think it's you really wonder why. It's hard to wonder why we have the problem.
Because you have a patchwork of areas, like everything else goes in the state.
Yep.
That's where New York State always gets bogged down in all this, because the patchwork and the checkerboarding of different allowing different aspects in different communities. It gets crazy.
All right, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
Yeah.
You too.
Anything further? We good? County Executive Anthony Pisani, what's going to happen? So the next step, really, it's in Mike Hennessy's court at this point. Speaking of court, no pun intended, he's going to take this to the courts and try to get placed back on the ballot.
The rule is, and I heard yesterday you were talking to one of the other, I think, an elected official, foreman from Ilion, who talked about the petition process and said, why doesn't the, I think everybody has to understand the process. It's not up to the Board of Elections or the clerks to throw out petitions. They get petitions in from every candidate. They stamp them in as long as they've got the number or the sheets are designated. That's it. That's their role. Their role stops there. It's up to candidates then to turn around and say, and that's an important part. It's up to the candidate to then, or the campaign to turn around and provide that. It's not up to the Board of Elections until challenges are raised.
Well, the
then
staff, they don't. Then
it goes to the Board of Elections.
They don't have the staff to be able to go through.
No, but they could never do that. But that's not the way. But that's not the way the law is written. It's not the system as it is.
It's up to a challenge.
So it's up to a challenge, and then they look at it. They provide the step one. They review whether there is or isn't. If there is, the opposition candidate, in this case, it has to decide whether to go to court, and then it takes its process from there.
And then one more. Tom is in Utica with County Executive Anthony Pisani. Hi, Tom. Good morning.
Hi. A few years ago, when this thing got rolling, I wrote that there would have to be something in bordering between the sanctuary cities and the non-sanctuary areas that would be more or less kind of a secondary border crossing. Got chuckled at a little bit. But, here's Rockland County doing de facto almost the exact same thing. We're getting loaded with things that aren't our fault. And Rockland County has basically set up borders, a border kind of situation, filtering out these people that they didn't invite in. And there might be a good idea to set something like that up just outside of New York City, up around the Ulster County or something like that. But it's unfair to be saddled with the results of a sanctuary city decision by a home rule town that just floods us.
Right. Thank you, Tom. You want to comment on
Yeah,
that?
no, that is. I mean, the home rule piece is essential here because we talk about that in every aspect of state legislation and whatever, but it gets ignored often by the legislature, not our local, but our legislature. But the other thing is his point. So that's what, and again, the executive order I put in, to be clear, is not to allow in any hotels or shelters. I mean, that's it. That's because that's where they would go.
Right. Okay.
So.
Wayne, one more for the county executive. You're almost out of here. You're almost gone.
Wayne Reed, why don't we all, like the good old days, why don't we put them on a boat and send them back to Ellis Island and just take them and break all their freaking heads into bones and just get them the hell out of here?
Okay.
What's wrong with the old days?
Okay. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. You remember the good old days.
The good old days.
I didn't quite pick up on that. It was a reference to it earlier this week. Okay.
Wayne, thank you for that.
Okay.
County executive.
Good morning, Wayne.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank you very
day.
much for the time.
And we'll do it again. We'll keep an eye on this petition situation. Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation has been in business for more than 85 years. And nobody does work like Collis. And if they've worked at your home, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When we had difficulties in the wintertime, they were there. In the coldest part of the winter, they were offering up, obviously, repair. But in addition to that, they were offering space heaters and that sort of thing to get us through the night. By Monday, this happened on a Friday night. By Monday, we had a new furnace installed because ours went down. State programs are also available out there to offer incentives and rebates for installing energy-efficient mini-splits in your home. Collis can help you navigate these programs and make sure your system is up to par. Spring also means thinking about allergy season. I was taking down a few, we had an evergreen tree, a pine tree, whatever it is, and some of the branches had gotten a little too close to the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my little handy handheld saw up there, and when I touched the branch, it vibrated, and you know what happened? I was covered with a yellow powder.
Oh, yeah.
Of pollen.
Mm-hmm.
Those trees are just filled with that pollen. And so that stuff gets into your home. It gets into your air vents. It's just the worst thing in the world. And Collis can help there, coming in with a duct cleanings. Also, they offer air purifiers as well. Reach out to Fred F. Collis & Sons today for details. Great opportunity for career as well. They're hiring insulation installers, seeking a crew leader for their insulation team as well. Head to their careers page at fredfcollis.com.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching. His paws were soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had bald spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time. DINOVITE.com. Dynovite is nutrition. Probably 2 weeks after he started Dynovite, I started seeing great improvements, and today 99% of his issues are non-existent. It's amazing stuff. Since Bailey has been 12 weeks old, he's been a Dynovite dog, and he has 0 issues today. He won't eat his food without Dynovite. When I get out the Dynovite, my dogs actually salivate, like I'm getting them a treat. They drool over it. Dynovite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dinovite from DINOVITE.com.
Beautiful woodwork adds warmth and charm to any kitchen. But years of use can leave your cabinets worn and faded. When you call Enhance, we'll make your cabinets as good as new again in as little as 1 day for a lot less than you'd pay for traditional refinishing or replacements. Whether you want to renew your cabinet's original finish or completely change their color, just tell us the look you want and we'll help you get it. Or bring your hardwood floors back to life. With most Enhance renewals, you can use your floors again the same day. Plus, there's no mess, no dust, and no odors. Call Enhance today for a free in-home consultation. We'll explain the process, we'll show you how your cabinets or floors will look when we're done, and we promise you'll be really pleased with the price. And when you trust Enhance, you'll get the skilled workmanship and attention to detail we bring to every job. There's no obligation. Call us now at 738-1113. 738-1113.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson and Power Sports of Utica. 35% off or 2-for-1 on all boots, hoodies, and big and tall. First bike night of the year, May 12th, with Showtime, Piggy Pants, plenty of cold beer. We'll see you there. Welcome to Power Sports of Utica, where you can take home a brand new C4 600 four-wheeler with all-wheel drive, a winch, and power steering for $65.99. And join us May 12th for our first bike night featuring Showtime, Piggy Pat's Barbecue, and plenty of cold beer.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now with several doctors, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Shemaleski, and others who are all under one roof at the Falcon Clinic, the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. My father is currently going to the Falcon Clinic as well, and it's just incredibly thorough, the most thorough that we have seen. He's just done an incredible job with my dad. And if you're looking for a new family doctor, you'll be in good hands at the Falcon Clinic. They're accepting new patients today. Call 315-507-4751. Visit them online at falconclinic.com. When I see thorough, it is absolutely thorough, and they really look deep. Dr. Shemaleski looks deep to try to figure out the puzzle that is your body and what ails you. The Falcon Clinic, 315-507-4751.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 8:32. Quickly, Jake is on the line following up on the county executive and on the immigrant situation. Jake, good morning. Yes, no, maybe? I don't know. What are you saying to me?
I was just saying, is Jacob?
Is it Jacob? It's on 4? We don't know what's going on. What are you telling me, Davey?
The sheriff is on 3.
Sheriff is on 3.
Jake is on
4. See you've got him on 4. Tell Jake I'll be right with him. Let's start with the sheriff. Sheriff Rob Mashel, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Clearly confused, but I'm okay.
Yep.
We're all right. All right. So, listen, you've had obviously a busy 14, 15, 24 hours. What do we know about what happened yesterday with the inmate getting away at the courthouse and literally running down the street? The video's up on our website. What do we know this morning?
Well, just to recap, the day before yesterday in the evening, he was initially arrested by Utica PD for harassment and violation of a court order. And also a parole violation. So he was actually arraigned the night before last in Cap Court, obviously was held. Then his reappearance in Utica City Court was yesterday. Obviously, he, along with other inmates that had to appear in Utica City Court that day, are taken down at once, one of our transport vans. Court appearances were complete for all of them that had to be there that morning. Upon exiting the Utica City Courthouse, this individual, who, by the way, as everyone knows, and I've gotten multiple calls on it, he was not shackled. There's currently, obviously, that's typically that's not done.
Okay.
We have our own internal investigation into why and the circumstances around that. I can't get into that at the moment, but anyways, he did flee from custody from our officers. Foot pursuit ensued, and that's where the video came in. You'll see one of our transport officers chasing him, along with a couple members of the Utica Police Department who were in plainclothes. They obviously were there as he attempted to flee. He approached a vehicle, and I did hear you guys talking a little bit this morning. The reason the door opened, there was no one in that vehicle. That individual saw them coming towards them. He exited his vehicle. Now, I'm assuming he was exiting to assist. I'm not quite sure. I don't know that for a fact. He exited his vehicle, and that's where you see the inmate in the orange jumpsuit turn to the car and attempt to open the front door. Now, he was handcuffed in front, and there's a belly chain. It's a chain that goes around your waist. So you are handcuffed, and those handcuffs are in turn hooked to a chain at your waistline. It's called a belly chain.
Now,
Yep, and so obviously he was taken into custody, subsequently charged last night with escape second degree. So now he's got much more severe charges on him than what he initially came in with.
Let me ask you, of the person that got out of the car, it looks like they got out of the car. It looked like they were going towards the inmate who was running away, and then they moved away from him. Is it possible that the deputies or the police officers told him to get away?
It is. I mean, obviously, my initial reaction to watching that video, because we watched it a bunch of times in slow, and that's not the only video. That's a public video.
Yep.
Obviously, there are other buildings in that area that are cameraed right up, so we've got multiple videos of this from the start. So, but it appears as though he was intending to cut the individual off. So he may have been given instructions by law enforcement chasing him.
Yeah, get away.
That they've got this. They've got this.
Yep.
Just please step out of the way. Because obviously they were closing in on him. You could see the two plainclothes officers were moving at a pretty quick pace, and he wasn't going to get much farther than he. I mean, I'm just grateful that our correction staff did not stop. They did not give up. I mean, they stayed with him. Obviously, I'm grateful to the members of the Utica Police Department that saw this going down, and they quickly intercepted, and he was taken into custody without any further incident. At that point, luckily, no one was hurt.
Yep.
And certainly, we want to make sure that, like I said, that this is looked into. This is not something that we're proud of. This is not something that's supposed to happen. And whatever mistakes were made, we'll ensure that they're corrected.
Okay. With that, whatever mistakes were made. Somebody earlier this morning said somebody's probably going to get suspended over this. Was there I guess you probably don't know at this point, but was there an error made by someone that allowed this to happen?
I'll hopefully be able to answer that question for you in the very near future.
Okay.
But at this point, I just want to get all the information before I don't want to prematurely answer something, because obviously the members on the unit yesterday are well-seasoned people who do this every day. So, again, I don't want to speak prematurely on answering the question.
Fair enough. Sheriff, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sounds good, guys.
All right,
have a good day.
Have a great day.
You too.
And probably a quieter day today, right, than yesterday was. Quickly, Jake's been waiting for a while. Before we break, I want to grab him. Jake, on the conversation with the county executive talking about the immigration issue. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. What do you have?
I would just like to take a moment and think about East Utica and parts of Cornhill that were in horrible shape before a bunch of these Bosnians and Russians and people from Laos and people from Cambodia came in and did super positive things in our community. Opened restaurants, are paying crazy amounts in taxes. Like, the immigration problem is a problem, and it's a nationwide problem. But I assume that we would be in a horrible place if it wasn't for some of these people that have come to our community. And I would also like to mention that most of us, our relatives came off a boat 100 years ago.
You're right.
So all these people that are up in arms, I mean, just look at the positive a little bit, and maybe it'd make more sense to you.
Well,
maybe think about your grandparents, their grandparents before your grandparents on Ellis Island. Like, maybe it'd make more sense if you could just be a little positive about it.
Yeah. Number one, I just want to say that many of the people who are complaining today, if they looked at their grandparents or great-grandparents, they would find that they were the ones being discriminated against back 100 years ago. That's a great point. The other part is, if you just take a moment to drive through parts of Cornhill and you remember back 15 years, it is an enormous transformation that has occurred over there for the good. And it's basically comes from immigrants. And the other one final part that you made, Jake, is if we did not have the influx of immigrants coming here and refugees coming here, we would have fallen below the 50,000 mark and lost city status, major city status here. I believe that's what it's called. And we would have lost so much in state and federal funding.
Nexus? No.
You're
New
right.
hospital? No.
Yep. Yeah.
Enhancement State Ironic Bank Center? No.
So you're right. However, Jake, to be fair, that's immigration that's being done legally. So we got to find a balance here somehow. But great point, Jake. Thank you.
I agree with you. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, I think it's a great call. I mean, again, I think my ancestors and yours didn't sneak in.
That's
right?
this is the issue. There's just no, and we're automatically also assuming that everyone sneaking in is some sort of a criminal. And there's a different story being told if you're at the southern border. It's a much different story. But the fact is, there are rules, and we have to follow rules. It's got to be done. It's got to somehow be done legally.
And as a guy who grew up in East
mess.
Utica, I saw firsthand what the Bosnian refugees did to revitalize that community. It would, without them, it would look like, remember where the Wynn Hospital was, where there were crumbling buildings? And
yeah, it's incredible.
That's what East Utica would probably look like without the migrants.
You know, they introduced
refugees.
The Bosnians introduced stucco to us here in the area. All those buildings that look so really cool didn't exist 20 years ago. I got a break. Coming up, Herkimer trying to make a transformation, and she was with the Chamber of Commerce. Michelle Hummel is now running an organization called Herkimer Next. We'll tell you what that is and speak with Michelle coming up. Also, John Decker just around the corner. It's 8:41 right now. Steve Pani Mazda, the Move to Mazda sales event, is back, and this is all Ricky Z. Do you know, out of all the Mazda dealerships in America, and this seems to happen wherever Rick goes, of all the dealerships, of all the Mazda dealerships in the United States, Steve Pani Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville has achieved first place nationally. It's the #1 dealership for customer satisfaction. I know why, because I've experienced it. It's the way you're treated. It's the customer service. 2.9% APR financing right now and up to 36 months on new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. Enjoy 0% APR financing up to 36 months on the new 2023 Mazda CX-9. It's the Move to Mazda sales event going on right now at Steve Pani Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. August 2nd at the Stanley Theater. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Get tickets at the Stanley Theater box office, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling 315-724-4000.
Hello, I'm Joe Hobeika, and I'm asking for your vote for Utica School Board. As school board president, I've led the fight for a better Utica school district. During my term on the board, I've worked very hard on improving transparency, process, and procedure, which are important to students, parents, teachers, and taxpayers. Now, due to my efforts along with the board majority, checks and balances have now been restored to prevent wrongdoing. We've already put an end to no-show jobs. We now track every penny spent by the district. Overtime is monitored and abuse of the system is prohibited. And oh, by the way, we balanced the budget, filled needed positions, and did not raise taxes. And now I'm asking for your vote so I can finish the job. This vote is extremely important, and your vote does count. On Tuesday, May 16th, please cast your vote for me, Joe Hobeika, and help us continue the fight for Utica's schools. Voting is from noon until 9 p.m.
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic demonstrations of just how great a camera system can be for you. Stop in and see for yourself at Big Apple Music in New Hartford.
WIBX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
And the official coffee of the radio program is Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Today it's going to warm up into the mid-70s. Perfect weather for a nice iced coffee or latte. Of course, breakfast sandwiches, fresh bagels, and fresh donuts every day. The drive-thru is fast. You're in and you're out and you're on your way. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. Michelle Hummel is in with us right now. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
You're now with an organization called Herkimer Next. Tell us what that is.
Okay, so Herkimer Next is a nonprofit private organization that assists municipalities, other non-for-profits, and community groups with grants and projects. We also provide a mechanism for projects to begin. We can follow them through from start to finish, regardless of a change in administration or leadership.
Okay, all right. And there is a lot. I mean, I think people are really yearning to, I don't want to say rebuild Herkimer, but Herkimer in particular. A lot of stuff happening in Herkimer County. Herkimer, there seems to be this drag along Main Street in that area where new visions are needed.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's actually been that way for a number of years. I mean, I've gone back as far as the 70s and saw articles about trying to, revive Main Street back then. So, I mean, I know it's had its glory days, but I think the idea is you can't bring it back to the way it exactly was. That's not going to happen, but perhaps you can create something new.
I remember we were sitting in the front window, which is now an optometrist, at the Green Street Cafe. We're in the front window. And we're sitting, having, eating, having a cocktail, having a great dinner, and all of a sudden, there were two shopping carts that went by, and it looked like an entire apartment was on top of the mattress, everything. And now that goes back to when that was open.
Yeah, that's a big issue that I'm going to get into as well.
That is, I remember whoever was at the table was like, man, this town is going to blank. And then the Green Street closed, and this closed, and the GH situation, and et cetera, to where it is today. So over 25, 35 years, we've seen a pretty big decline there.
Right. Yeah. And so just to be clear, we will help any municipality in Herkimer County. So
yes, not just Herkimer.
Right. Not just Herkimer. So Herkimer, for lack of better terms, has the most low-hanging fruit. It is the county seat. So there's a vested interest there to make it a better place. And part of the issue with Main Street is getting the homeless off of Main Street. So we're trying to assist with other organizations that can do that. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I was notified that we were awarded a couple of grants. And a couple of months ago, I put in 4 grants for Loaves and Fishes Warming Center and also the Salvation Army. Now, they've teamed up to kind of create a warming center for the homeless, and eventually perhaps it'll be a homeless center. But they're in need. They need support, and so we put in a couple of grants to the Community Foundation on their equity round, and we were notified that each organization was awarded $10,000.
Wow.
So that's going to go a long way. It's just the tip of the iceberg, but these things are needed. So Herkimer County does have a homeless problem.
I grew up, as you know, in the valley. I don't remember a homeless problem.
Right. Well, it's just like anything else with everything going on now. And, part of that, you're going to have some people that have addiction issues and some people that are just impoverished. So, I've heard terms from people, even leaders in the community, that say, well, they don't want to be helped. And that's a very blanket statement. There are certainly some homeless individuals that don't want to be helped, and maybe they've got an addiction, so they need a different type of help. But there are certainly homeless people that are willing and can be helped.
I was going to ask about the contrast between, or how you worked with Community Foundation of, and you mentioned a couple of grant programs that came through that you had applied for.
Right. Yeah. So, the Community Foundation has been a great supporter for Herkimer County for years and years. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons this sparked, there's a few things that just all the stars aligned with creating this organization. In 2020, I believe it was, the Community Foundation, along with some leadership in Herkimer County, came together to come up with a county strategic plan. Within that plan, there was a component that made a recommendation to create a non-for-profit organization that can kind of help, bridge the gaps between Herkimer County. Now, keep in mind, Herkimer County has 60,000 people and 30,000 governments. 30 governments. 30,000 is a little out of control, but
Be a lot, but,
you get the gist.
Sometimes it feels like there's 30,000 municipalities, doesn't it?
Does. So
each has its own school district, its own fire department.
Yeah, and to put it into perspective, Herkimer County has about 47 people per square mile. Oneida County has 187 people per square mile. So by the nature of the beast, you're going to have silos, and you need an organization to sort of bridge that gap and to break down those silos and get everyone working on the same team to move the county forward.
Something you alluded to, and I'll just follow up on, is part of, and I don't want to drag you into controversy because people get upset about this, but is there any effort, is part of what you do involve anything of consolidation, collaboration, because they are silos as you describe them?
We have not gotten into any of that. We're a brand new organization. We were awarded IRS status on October 11th.
You don't want to be hated yet.
Yeah, give us some time, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, we just want all good things to happen.
Right.
And with that, sometimes you try to do good things, and there's always going to be those people that just, they don't like change. They don't like something new. They're apprehensive. As time moves on, I hope that we'll gain the trust of the community.
What projects are you working on right now that are big ones?
So right now, we've got a proposal on the table with the Village of Herkimer in partnership with the Baslow Library. So the Baslow Library is in need. It's the third administration that they've asked for a new roof, and quite frankly, like a lot of municipalities, they just don't have the money to get that fixed. So, we can come in and say, look, we'll fix your roof. There's actually a lot of other things that we could do too. We've proposed to redo the parking lot, perhaps enhance the lighting. All of this would be funded through grants and personal donations that are received by Herkimer Next. So we haven't yet received a yes from the village. And if by all means, if they could do this themselves, we're going to be the first ones to stand up and applaud them and help them in any way that we can. So that's something that's on the table right now, and it really needs to happen. The issue is that the municipality owns the building, so we really need their permission to move forward, because we're trying to approach it as though we want to secure a library for a community. It just so happens to be owned by the village.
Seems like a no-brainer.
There are a lot of good things that could take place, and again, we haven't heard anything formal back since our initial meeting.
How can so this could be a private business that could use your services as well?
Sure. Well,
so anybody in Herkimer County.
Anybody in Herkimer County. I mean, there are businesses that even on Main Street. There are Main Street grants out there that are available where there might be some matching dollars for the business owner to put up, but the sky's the limit.
How do they reach out to you?
They reach out to us. Our office number is 315-864-0009. And I will give my cell phone number at this point. I think everybody has it anyway. It's 315-717-4998.
All right. So you've gone from the chamber, which has its very important role, but this is a role where you can really get things done.
Yeah, I really want to make a difference. And I'm working with a great group of board of directors, so you can't do anything alone. This is just an amazing opportunity.
All right. Keep us posted.
I will.
All right. Thank you so much,
Michelle.
Michelle.
Thank you for having
Appreciate it. I want to switch to the do I have time to just keep going? John Decker is the chief White House correspondent with Gray TV, and he's with us right now. John, good morning.
Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well today, Bill.
Doing well. I do have to say, first off, that Tanya J. Powers says good morning to you. We told her we're going to be speaking with you today. So.
Well, good morning to her, too. I haven't spoken to her in quite some time. Old colleague from Fox News Radio. So, yeah, excellent.
Let's start with the craziness of George Santos. You called this, by the way.
Yeah.
On this program, you said, I think within 6 months he is going to be indicted, and I think you're pretty darn close.
Yeah, I am, and I specifically said for wire fraud, and that's among the 13-count indictment that has been brought against him by federal prosecutors. And the big question for me, let's leave aside the legal issue that he's dealing with, but the big question for me politically is George Santos says he's not going anywhere, and I don't think he's doing the Republican Party any favors from remaining in the Republican Party and being a member of Congress. I think he's hurting the Republican Party, quite frankly. And Kevin McCarthy yesterday said that he will not support George Santos in his run for re-election, and I think that's the first shoe to drop. And I think that I would not be surprised if there's a move afoot to expel him from Congress, even though he hasn't gone through the legal process just yet. He's just a problem. And I think it's pretty clear to me, reading through the indictment, that the federal prosecutors have the goods, so to speak, on George Santos. He's going to go to jail. He's going to serve prison time. I think that's pretty clear to me. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. Well, quite a fall.
So this isn't the
January.
I keep. If there's any advice I can give people, is only Donald Trump can be Donald Trump. Please don't try to be Trump, because you're not Trump. George Santos immediately yesterday. This is a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. It's like, this isn't going to work for you like it works for Trump.
Yeah, and it didn't work for Trump earlier in the week with that civil trial and the verdict there. And, of course, he's dealing with the Manhattan district attorney. That's another issue that he's dealing with. But, yeah, you're right. There's only one Donald Trump, and that's Donald Trump.
If I could, last night on CNN, the town hall they held, and he went right back at it. I'm really surprised. He went right back at the election was stolen, and then he started talking about the court case, and he even said that that he would. It was a beautiful day, January 6th. I can't believe he's going down this road.
I can't either.
Oh, no.
I don't know how we lost him. Hopefully, these phone lines. I swear we have new lines in that are VOIP. He's back. There he is. I got you back.
Can I just say it would be a great ticket, right? The Trump Santos ticket. We could take the ship right off the edge of our flat Earth, right?
All right. Where were you, John, before we lost you?
Yeah, I was going to say, he even said that he would pardon the vast majority who took part in the January 6th attack on our Capitol. And that's not helpful for him in this sense, just politically. It's not helpful for him. He needs to get voters who did not vote for him in 2020 to vote for him, to flip their votes and vote for him in 2024. And when you make remarks like that, that is not helpful to your cause.
No.
It's a head scratcher to me. Look, he to me has essentially wrapped up the Republican nomination. He's going to be the Republican nominee.
It seems that way.
But that's not the prize. The prize is winning the White House, and I don't think that town hall did himself any favors with the town hall last night.
Republicans who are trying to get in the race and feel like they have a chance in becoming the nominee are feeling that voters are going to, comments like these, the voters are going to come around and say, well, I can't support him now. I think I heard a Republican strategist the other morning say that those that believe the election was stolen is down below 20% of Republicans. I'm not quite sure, though.
Well, I'm not quite sure either. He certainly had a lot of support last night at the town hall when he would make a lot of these false claims. He got a lot of applause last night. I don't know what percentage of the people that were in that debate hall or whatever auditorium that were clapping when he would say these false claims. But it's not those folks that he's trying to win over. They're already in the Trump camp. They're part of his base. It's those who did. Look, Donald Trump lost by 7 million votes to Joe Biden in 2020. So his task, it's pretty basic. How do I get those 7 million people to vote for me this time after they voted for my opponent, Joe Biden, in 2020? That's his task.
Yep.
And, to me, he could have looked forward last night. He could have been Donald Trump 2.0, but he was not Donald Trump 2.0. He was the Donald Trump that we saw during all 4 years of his presidency.
Yeah, the analogy that I would give is you don't want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the classic rock act that's, 2 years in. You want to be the act that's going out and you're now the that's doing your greatest hits. You want new music on the charts, and that's what people are looking for.
And I was just going to say, he has the rock star status.
He certainly does. And then quickly, 30 seconds, John. It's going to be a disaster at the southern border.
Yeah, it really is. Immigration officials preparing for that. A huge influx of migrants coming to the U.S.-Mexico border. I interviewed the former Secretary of Homeland Security last week, Jay Johnson. He was DHS Secretary in the Obama years, and he had advice for President Joe Biden. He said, look, he needs to say this loud and often, and that is, there's a right way and a wrong way to come to the U.S., and if you come the wrong way, you will be sent back. He said that's a message that needs to be delivered often from the most powerful politician in America, and that's the president.
John, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, John Decker, Chief White House Correspondent with Great TV. Have a great week. We'll talk next week.
Thank you, Bill. You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
But what are you talking? Every federally elected Democrat has said for years, including the last several weeks, there is no crisis at the border. What are we talking about?
Gotta go. News with Kilmeade is after that. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 9 o'clock.
Counting down to the end of an era. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Title 42 COVID border policy expires late tonight.
We already have a flood. More than 4 million people come across. Now it's going to be a tidal wave. You have hundreds of thousands of people just waiting.
That's House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. He says Republicans are poised today to pass a bill to build more barriers and keep more migrants out. President Biden opposes that, saying he won't bring back Trump immigration policies trampling on our values. Fox's Caroline Shively's at the border.
The migrants waiting on the other side of that wall and that razor wire.
She's in El Paso, Texas.
The Border Patrol Union sent out this tweet yesterday, quote, field reports from agents across the southern border verify the enormity of this tidal wave of illegal aliens coming now. Huge groups are overwhelming stations, and it is completely out of control.
But the head of the Border Patrol says he thinks the worst of the Title 42 surge is already over. Now, as that policy ends, so does the COVID public health emergency.
While some things like COVID tests and vaccines were free during the public health emergency, they now may come with a price tag. Private insurers will no longer be required to pay for 8 COVID home tests a month, and Medicare enrollees won't get free at-home tests either.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. We just got another inflation update showing a slower year-over-year rise in wholesale prices. Last month, up just 2.3%. Former President Trump, the Republican 2024 frontrunner, refused again to concede. He lost in 2020. He says that it was a rigged election, telling a CNN town hall he'd pardon most of those convicted for the Capitol riot on January 6th, which he called a beautiful day. The former president also said E. Jean Carroll's a whack job and her rape claim's a scam.
This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is.
But New York jury found Trump liable for sexually abusing and then defaming Carroll. Israeli airstrikes have killed a 4th militant commander in Gaza, though Palestinians claim 21 others have also died as Israel retaliates for rocket strikes. America's listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years, I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks, the knee pain was completely gone, and the shoulder and back pain were reduced quite a bit. I can now exercise much more comfortably and practically pain-free. Thank you, Relief Factor. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. So it looks like a lot of people are thanking Relief Factor. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start at the reduced price of $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor. relieffactor.com.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida County